What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Doc Holiday, back with another HBCU OverDrive live stream. If you haven't done it by now, make sure that you hit that like button, get that algorithm jumping. Make sure you comment, share with all your people, and most of all, subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, just hit that join button and join the membership for $4.99. Ain't that hard to do. So let me see if my co-host will be in. Let her know, see if she'll be in today. Make sure she here today. If not, I mean, I'll probably be going solo, but it's cool though. What's going on, Rusty? What's happening? What's going on, man? You ain't been in here in a minute, but y'all already know why we here. Y'all already know what we here. You already see what the title is. Oh, there she go. There you go. What's up?
Hey, I'm not even sitting at my desk right now.
I see that. I see that.
Out. I'm not at the desk right now. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm surprised I started early because I usually go around about 8-9 o'clock. But we gonna try to get a lot of stuff going on. And if anybody wants to put in a 2 cents, the link is in the chat, y'all. But we're gonna ask that question. We're gonna ask the main question. Did Ed Reed lose his damn mind yesterday when he went on his rant? I know you got the receipts, so I put in on my thing for fair use. That way we won't get nobody want to get chop blocked over here. But if you got the receipts, just go ahead and put them up on the screen. And I understand people seen it, but I know they want to try to get the whole entirety, the complexity of both messages, because he went on live early in the day that morning, and he was more calm. Ed Reed is not that type of guy that's you know what I'm saying, that's all bravado, glitz and glamour and stuff. He is more of hard work, you know what I'm saying, tough as nails. That's his persona. But he got a little swag because he came from the U. So but let's play this one first. See what we got right here.
Prime was not wrong about what he was saying. All y'all out there with y'all opinions, full of crap, don't know shit. But needless to say, I just pulled up to work. We're gonna try to help y'all too, man, because I know a lot of HBCs need help. I'm just here to help here first. I see it all too clearly.
So
all our HBCs need help.
Our HBCs? What is a HBC?
So basically, I guess he wanted to say historically black colleges, but
HBCs, I've never heard of it referred to it as that before. So I think that just kind of gives credence that maybe he's doesn't know anything about HBCUs. That he probably got this job on name alone. Because if I'm interviewing somebody for a head coach position, one of the main questions I'm going to ask is, what do you know about HBCUs?
Right.
That's important. And moving forward, I think that's there's a list of things that whoever is doing the search, the AD, that they need to ask about. What do they know about HBCUs? What do they know about facilities and funding? And also ask them to take a tour of the campus before they commit to working there, because
Right.
that's important.
Now I understand that one right there, because you don't want to make my whole thing is, it's just like if you're going for a regular job, if you really think about it, you like, say me, I've been in retail for so long, like I especially sneaker retail and clothing retail, that I know like back rooms and stuff like the back of my hand. So my whole thing is, if it's a job that I'm going that I'm looking at going to, I'm first going to go check it out myself. So for those that don't know, I work for Lids. Liz is the main people, but I went into, so the place I wanted to go work at, I went into their shop and I went to the store and I talked to the store manager and talked to an assistant and stuff like that. So basically, I went and did my homework before I stepped foot before I went any further as far as doing the application, all this other stuff like that. So I pretty much did my homework about the company. Like just like what you always say, Google, Google it. It's free. I mean,
Read the reviews, because I think that Ed Reed might have looked at, which I'm not SWAC football, MEAC football, just even D2 football in the HBCU realm has been amazing. But more specifically, I think that Ed Reed looked at Deion Sanders, knowing that he's a Hall of Famer and that he hadn't had any other coaching experience. And he was just like, if Dion can do it, I can do it. Not realizing that Deion Sanders and Ed Reed are two different people. So
right.
he's not, I just don't think that he's a good fit for HBCU realm, because he doesn't have the tact that you're going to need. And then on the flip side of that, I'm like, Ed Reed would never do this at University of Miami. It just wouldn't happen. So that means that I made a comment on Twitter that said he needs to just shut up and coach. And people said, man, that's just as bad as the white lady telling LeBron that he needs to shut up and dribble. But the reality of that mentality is that these particular coaches are looking to go to the Power 5 level.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think the coaches at these Power 5 levels do? They shut up and coach. They don't get involved in political fanfare. They don't comment on or like disparage the administration that they work for. You will never see that at a Power 5. And
Unless
so,
your name is Nick Saban.
well, I mean, and he's Nick Saban.
Right.
So there's that, like, he's Nick Saban. Who's going to tell him no? He brings in billions of dollars to Alabama. So there's certain rooms that he would never display this type of behavior. So when I see Black folks say, yeah, that's what we need, it's like, no HBCU deserves that, especially not one that asks for Ed Reed. I really think that Ed Reed went on a HBCU head coaching tour and he stopped at several different places and nobody picked him up, because there was a rumor that he was tapped at Jackson State and we didn't give him an offer. So at this point, he's just going to take any coaching position that he can get, because he wants to go to the Power 5 level and he wants to do it the same way as Deion Sanders, but he doesn't have Deion Sanders' professionalism, which Deion Sanders is able to turn on, and it's important.
Right. So let's finish up and see what he said on this.
HBCUs need help. And they need help because of the people who's running it. Broken mentalities out here. I'm gonna leave y'all with that, man. I gotta get in the office. I hope y'all be blessed out there. 336, I see you, my bro. About to pull up, I'm in the office, bro. I gotta get out here. My guys already out here working. I've been here for a week and a half. I've been here for a week and a half and have done more than people that have been here in freaking years. And I'm not even hired yet. Damn shame. I holla.
All right. So that's the first one right there. Now, on that, what he said at the end, and I mean, we could play, like I said, we could play devil's advocate. We could do, say you could spin it this way, you could spin it this way. But in the sense of what he said, I've been there for a week and a half, and I've done more than what the administration has done in years. I ain't saying that's appalling. I'm not saying that's appalling, but it's kind of surprising. So now here's, like you said, and this is where it comes back to where you said that go on a review and review the job that review the job that you're trying to get, right? So if you review the job that you're getting at Bethune Cookman, realize Bethune Cookman is on their third interim president.
I don't think it's just that. There's an article out about the Bethune Cookman head coach football that basically there's issues with the athletics department. It's public knowledge, public information, and it just basically talks about how hard it is for him to effectively do his job. But we're blaming the administration, but at the end of the day, these things cost money. And Bethune Cookman is a private institution. So when they have their football games, they're not clearing $1 million plus in income when they have their games. They're not doing that. Like when Jackson State has a home game, they'll bring in revenue of maybe $2 to $3 million. Mm-hmm. That's before expenditures, but still $2 to $3 million. Like when we have 40 to 50,000 at the stadium with parking, tickets, everything, we're bringing in that much. That's how much we bring in.
Right.
So for Jackson State, yes, football does bring in the revenue. For smaller private institutions like Bethune Cookman, not so much. And I don't think that, once again, Ed Reed didn't do an analysis like Coach Prime said that he did. He probably had somebody else doing it for him. But they did breakdowns of how much revenue are they bringing in, how many fans do they have. Like he did all of the work. So he knew going into it that he did not have a field for them to practice on, that if they wanted to practice when it rained, they had to go to another field, that they had to go to the stadium. Like Dion was aware of this. And when you hear him talk about these struggles, he doesn't talk about it in a kind of like Ed Reed was talking about HBCUs in a disgusted manner. Mm-hmm. Whereas Deion Sanders, when he talks about it like, these are things that we're struggling with. And you saw so many people and corporations that listened to his plea, and they came
to run it.
Hey.
My spiel on this is, though, like, Dion has the cachet, right? Okay, congratulations to we back on track. Dion got the cachet, right? He got the cachet. He got to get the gap, right? We, you know what I'm saying? He know how to work. To me, he know. I mean, the difference between Dion and Avery is Dion know how to work the corporate boardroom. Avery is more of get out there and work. And,
in his video, he said, I don't, in the ending of his video, which we're getting ready to watch the next one, he said, donors, something, 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 they want money. Like, I don't know. He probably scared a lot of corporations away that wouldn't touch him with a 50-foot pole because he was so irate and manic and not becoming to represent a university. And everybody that's like, oh, Bethune-Cookman needed that. Bethune-Cookman did not deserve that. Neither did HBCUs. They literally just had 2 back-to-back hurricanes. Their infrastructure is crippled. They're waiting on FEMA funds. They're trying to hold it together. And Coach Bryan brought hope to Jackson State and the community. And here is Ed Reed, where he has an opportunity to do the same for Bethune-Cookman, and he missed the mark.
Right. So let's go to the next one.
Disclaimer, there's some cuss words in it. Disclaimer.
Oh, yeah. For a disclaimer, my man was going off. There's more expletives in here like he was still on the football field, y'all. So just let everybody know. All right. If you get offended, charge it to my head, not to my heart.
Chose not to, but now I'm out here walking with the football team, picking up trash. But I'm mutting us. Man, get out of here, man. I should leave. I'm not even under contract doing this. I'm mutting us? Man, get out of here, man. They mutt me. These motherfuckers ain't even clean my goddamn office when I got here. I'm mutting y'all? Get your ass, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. All this shit here was trash in front of me. Who you think got this shit cleared out? That building right there got trash in it. It's fucking trash. What are you talking about? I need no goddamn donors to come out and help out, because people just want money. That's why I don't fuck with social network. Fuck out of here, man.
All right. Woo. So
he said, I don't need no GD donors helping me out. So you basically done ran off anybody that was gonna help you. I don't need no GD donors.
Right.
I couldn't really figure out what he said, but I figured it out that time.
Well, he was saying they mutton me. They mutton like they mess him. I don't know. I say they mess with him, but I think that was the one. Was that the one where he got the troll came on and he pretty much got pissed? He got pissed off. I think.
Do you know how many trolls are going to be trolling him when he loses?
Yeah, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people that troll me. It's a lot of people that troll you.
That's not an excuse.
Yeah, somebody said that he was humble. I mean, I don't know, cause on that rant right there, just like you said, they just had 2 hurricanes, right?
Yeah, he had a hurricane in September. They started to rebuild and fix things, and then November another hurricane.
And another hurricane came through, which was a
even if it was so apparently that there was a troll in the chat that was doing little like messing with him, saying little smart stuff. One person in the longer video, which I do not have access to, somebody told him congratulations, and he was like, congratulations, look at this shit. look at this. Look at this track. This ain't even a full track. It's like, it was really disgusting to watch because the way that he came about it, like, he was mad because Bethune Cookman doesn't have a full circular track for people to run on. And then he was like showing pieces of wood or stuff that was in on the Bethune Cookman grounds, but
Yeah.
they just went through a hurricane, and then it was fall break. I didn't know what mutton means. So apparently a mutton means messing with. But sir, how old are you? Are you 12? Like, you thought you got trolled? You're going to get trolled so hard when you lose those games. If you can't keep your composure, you don't need to be a football coach.
So, I mean, that if you, and that goes to show, if you didn't tour the campus before you took the job, some, like I said, something's up because you didn't do your due diligence about.
And Bethune Cookman didn't do their due diligence
either.
Because you're supposed to let them know prior to. And then Ed Reed, can you imagine him at a presser, the weekly presser? Like, they're gonna have to record him on a delay so that they're gonna be able to bleep out all of the cuss words that he says, because the man's doesn't have.
I think when it comes down to that right there, I think when it comes down to the weekly presser, the conference the conference call is going to be real interesting. But I think he knows how to censor himself as far as when it comes to.
So you do know how to have decorum. So you do know how to speak correctly and not disparage a university. You're not doing that to University of Miami. I would often say that actually this outburst probably diminished his chances of being a Power 5 head coach. I mean, I haven't talked to somebody from that level, but I would venture to say that if University of Miami saw that, they would just be like, there's no way on God's green earth we would hire him as a head coach.
I mean, now I can't say he would not have done it at the PWI. I feel like it.
That's the reason. Somebody said, when did Ed Reed say he wanted to become a Power 5 coach? Why do you think he's at Bethune Cookman? He's trying to follow Coach Prime's blueprint of going to an HBCU, winning and going to Power 5. And he's thinking that he can do the same. He's thinking he's going to be treated the same. He was probably expecting the Zamunda greeting that Coach Prime got. He was probably expecting that. Laying the red carpet out for him, presenting gifts, attire. Like, he's expecting a Coach Prime experience because he is a Hall of Famer like Coach Prime. But Bethune Cookman has gone through a lot. They're a private institution, a private religious institution at that.
Here go our resident HBCU encyclopedia.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Listen, I enjoyed both of y'all today. I really did. I learned so much from y'all today. I enjoyed Raw Truth's podcast today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really did.
Oh yeah. So what are you? You said something earlier today, Mr. Ford, that kind of made me think.
What was it?
You said something. I think right before DJ had ended his show. We was talking about the Ed Reed situation and what he, about what he said and what he wouldn't do, what he would do if he was at said Power 5.
Yeah. I used to be in the coaching real heavy. My mother was a coach. My sister's a college coach now. And for a long time, my mother, it started back in the 60s with my mother. And people would come to my mother and they would, if they had a child that was going off to college, especially if they were an athlete, whether it was football, basketball, they would ask my mother's opinion, where should we send him? Well, I guess I inherited that from my mother because I've placed a lot of kids in college myself, but I've had other parents to come to me that was non-sports related and ask me, what do you think, or where do you think I should send my child? Even though I'm a social studies and debate teacher, I've always kind of been like also a counselor. But let me just say this, from what I saw, and I don't know if I shared this yet today, I didn't know about the statements until somebody called me and said, had you seen it? And then I went in and saw it. There's no way I could recommend anybody to play for Ed. I couldn't. Initially, I was happy that he got that Bethune Cookman job. Bethune Cookman means a lot to me. I'm from South Georgia. That was one of our underground railroads coming out of the little small town where I was from. People would go. We had more people going to Bethune than we did Florida A&M, because Florida A&M is like 50 miles from my hometown. Bethune is a whole lot farther. But anyway, Bethune has always meant a lot to my hometown and to me. And the other thing is this, when I was at Clark, I had a professor, Dr. Eugene Walker. He taught us about Mary McLeod Bethune. You talking about a powerful woman that a lot of people don't know nothing about. I can talk about that later all day because of Dr. Eugene Walker, and he taught us so much. But I'm saying all this to say that when I heard what he said, it hurt me. That you show this kind of disrespect for HBCU like Bethune Cookman and what Bethune Cookman has meant to my hometown. My mother used to send kids there. My mother, she was born in the 30s, but she grew up in the 40s. Mary McLeod Bethune would come to Albany, Georgia. And she was good friends. The man's name was Dr. Holly. He's the founder of Albany State University. She would come to Albany. She was that powerful. And for those of you who want to really read about her, read the account of when she went from, she initially brought Langston Hughes to Daytona Beach, and then she decided to go back to New York with him. And Langston Hughes said it was the greatest trip he had ever taken in his life because every town they stopped in, because she was with him, they were treated like royalty. And I know a lot of people say that, well, that's history and all that. Yeah, it is. But one of the greatest gems we have in America that we created are HBCUs.
Right.
And I know they got problems and all that, but I can't accept people saying the things that he was saying about Bethune. I got a problem with that. I got 2 degrees, and both of my degrees came from, you know this, Doc, me and you talked about it.
Yes,
I got
sir.
my undergraduate at Clark, which is now Clark Atlanta. It was called Clark College when I was there. And then I got my master's from Grambling. And I love them institutions. And when I got out there, not only did I love Grambling, I fell in love with Southern. I fell in love with Jackson. I fell in love with Alcorn. I just fell in love with them schools. And to hear somebody go off like that, I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't. I think I said it today. I think that Bethune needs to rethink his employment. I know some people going to be mad with me, but I think they need to rethink that.
Do you think the reason why they hired him at that time was to make sure that they can keep the recruits and get more recruits to come in? I mean, because he can't.
Like I said, I was so happy. Once again, somebody called and told me that, and I think I either asked you or Blue, was it true? And I don't know if it was you or Blue. Somebody told me, said, yeah, it's true. I was happy. I was happy. I was elated. Just like when Dion came to Jackson, I was happy. I was very happy. But listen, like I was saying today, when I went to college, I thought psychology was something you just had to, but we had some professors that taught us they made psychology a living document, and they taught us how it had been used on us, how it's used. Now, most people don't know that when you become a lawyer, it's two things they're going to teach you. They're going to teach you how to lie, and they're going to teach you psychology. A lot of people don't know that. That's why a lot of lawyers, they undergraduate degree is in psychology.
Right.
But I'm just saying that when I heard him say those things, I had a professor who told me what to look for, what it means. And that's why I told him today. I said, listen, two things. He suffered from an inferiority complex, and he suffers from that Stockholm syndrome. And all that stuff comes out of psychology. And a lot of people, they tell the children, I don't study psychology because they say ain't no money in it. But baby, let me tell you something. They have weaponized psychology on us for the last 500 years.
Right. And the crazy thing,
and it works.
It worked. And we wouldn't even know what psychology, back then you wouldn't even know what psychology was.
That's right. Because I didn't. When I went up to college, we were looking at what job we can get. Can I retire? Can I get a expense account? That's how silly we were, But I had some professors, they knew that. Man, it was a guy, I'll never forget, we had a professor came in from Florida A&M. His name was Dr. Joseph Baldwin. Woo! He was a psychologist. He was a PhD psychologist. We had a lady came to Clark twice. She's passed on. Now, this lady was brilliant. Her name was Frances Cress Wells. And if your listeners don't remember nothing I said tonight, please go and read any book that was written by Frances Cress Wells. And she was a Howard University grad, and she was a psychiatrist. If you ever get a chance, Doc, look her up. This lady was a brilliant woman.
Okay.
But she was a psychiatrist, Dr. Frances Cress Wells. That was her name. I saw her. She came to Clark twice while I was there. But I learned so much. And I'm gonna tell you another area that we didn't take it seriously until I actually took the class, sociology. That's a powerful, let me tell you something, man. That is a powerful discipline, man. That's sociology. That's a powerful. A lot of people, like I said, most people look at that stuff and say, I can't make no money doing that. But I can tell you one thing, you're gonna have knowledge and power.
Right.
You study, you're gonna have some knowledge and power. I can tell you that. I don't know about how much money you're gonna have, but you're gonna have some knowledge and power.
I'm gonna get in fact, people ask the doctor, like, is a gym? I'm gonna go ahead and start looking at the books that she wrote.
Yeah. Get you can if you are you near your computer?
Yeah, I'm on my I have my laptop in front of me when I
just put in Frances Cress Welsing, and the books are gonna come up. She wrote a number of books, and it's so sad that there's so many people. She died. Who I'm thinking about her, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. What year does it say she died?
2016.
That's right, because she lived to be in her 80s, right? Wasn't it her 80s?
Yep.
Listen, they would have these people to come. That lady would go all around the world. They fired. She was actually had a PhD. Her stuff was so powerful. They fired her at Howard, I think. She was an alum. She was bringing it. She was bringing it. And like I said, to me, all Black women should read her. All of us should read her, but especially Black women. Black women should definitely read. Her name was Dr. Frances Cress Wells, and they should read her.
I'm gonna go on. I know I got Amazon, so I'm gonna see if I can find some stuff on Amazon.
Oh, she was brilliant.
On YouTube. Oh man. So I'm gonna look for the ISIS papers. I'm gonna look for them too.
Yeah, that's right. That was one of them. The ISIS paper. That thing went big. I think that was like $1 million seller. That's right. The ISIS paper. That was one of them. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I know about y'all about to make me go back to read more books like I used to, man. When you get the advent of social media and the cell phone, sometimes your brain is on one thing and you forget about the other one where you need to feed where the books feed your brain. So I'm gonna go back to start going back to reading books.
Oh man, it's some classics out there that
But yeah, he did. Now he did issue an apology. Now, and I'm gonna say,
They say in the 20th century he was the greatest scholar that America produced during the 20th century. He actually started the first urban sociology program in Atlanta at Atlanta University. Yeah, he was the first Black man to get a PhD at Harvard University. Now, his undergraduate was at Fisk. When he finished Fisk, they sent him to Harvard. The white people at Harvard said, listen, Negro, you come from a Negro school, so we don't recognize no education you got, so you got to start over. And they made him go back and do the undergraduate, the master's, and the PhD. But white people will tell you on paper that he's the greatest scholar America produced during the 20th century. Now, the other phenomenal thing about him, he was so smart and so brilliant at Harvard. Harvard sent him to Berlin, Germany, because at that time, with the Europeans, the three top schools one was called the Sorbonne, that was in France. The other one was called, it was in England. Was it Oxford or it was another, somebody have to tell me, it's another school over there. I think Bill Clinton went there. When you become
he went to go do his Rhodes Scholars.
That's right. When you become a Rhodes Scholar, you have to go study there. But the other place was the University of Berlin. Now, let me show you how phenomenal this Du Bois was. When he went to Germany, he couldn't speak German. He had to learn German while he was in school. And then I'm gonna close out on this one. I'm gonna tell you this last part. The Germans were bragging on him to the white people in America. So all the white people in America was sending him letters saying, when you finish school in Germany, you come to America, we're going to hire you immediately. But what they didn't know about him was they didn't know he was a Black man.
Right.
And when they found out that he was a Black man, of course, all of them rescinded the offer except the University of Pennsylvania. But what they told him when he got to Philly, they told him, said, look, you can't teach, but we will allow you to do research. But here's the thing. He put together one of the greatest urban studies in the history of America. It was called the Philadelphia Negro. And what he did was he went around Philadelphia to all the Black homes, and he would talk to the people and see, he would talk to rich Blacks. He would talk to middle-class Blacks. He would talk to poor Blacks. And off of those interviews with those people, he put together a book called put it in there. See, I think it was 1890. Put it in your computer. Put the Philadelphia Negro. What year was that published? Because that was a big book now. It was a big book at that time. Do you see? What year was that?
Philadelphia Negro.
Philadelphia Negro. I want to say 1899 or 1898. What was it?
Let me see. That was
Was it 1899?
I think it should be 1899. Yeah, 1899. Yeah. It was published.
1899. Yeah, that's when he published. But yeah, and see, when you know these kinds of things, and then you hear the way he went off, that hatred that I heard in his voice, that like I said, now I might be wrong. I think Bethune needs to reconsider that. They really do.
Okay. Say, Tamona, what you got? I see he got the apology letter right here.
I read it today.
All I would like to say is your apology needs to be as loud as your disrespect. So I would have liked for that particular apology, whether he had to read it from a teleprompter, it needed to have been said. This is a PR, like, it's just a standard letter that they write whenever they do something and they want forgiveness.
Right. That's
so it doesn't really mean anything. Like words, what do we say? We say actions are louder than your words.
There you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, yep, it's standard. You got standard apology right there, apology letter.
And listening to all of this history about all of these greats and how disrespectful Ed Reed's comments were, and then
Yeah.
just how disrespectful the comments are from trolls, from um, non-minorities. Deion Sanders, although he utilized his comments to try to bring about change or force change,
Mm-hmm.
he emboldened people to disrespect HBCUs
Right.
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
utilizing the same
Yeah.
narratives that he stated about Jackson State, and they're applying it to all HBCUs.
Yeah.
And also, they're misapplying what he said. So, for instance, Ed Reed was mad because his office wasn't cleaned out, and he was also mad because of the state of the facilities and because they wouldn't give him $1 million for a brand new football field. But knowing that you're coming to a HBCU, you should have had 4 or 5 people to donate the field. And when he was on that live, and somebody in the comments must have said something about a donor, and he said, "I don't want no GD donor."
Right.
So basically, you're cutting off. That's how you're going to be able to be successful for what you're trying to do, which is mimic what Prime did. So if you saw all the stuff that Prime did and all the stuff that he went through, why would you think Bethune Cookman was going to give you $1 million for a football field, and they just went through 2 hurricanes?
Right. So my thing about this is, and it's crazy because you really think about it, Ed Reed's mom, I think his mother is an educator down in Louisiana. She was an educator, and I know his father was father, a hard worker. But I would think I would think if I'm his people, like, sir, sometimes you have to, if you're going to get upset, you have to be tactful in what, you know what I'm saying, in what you say and how you say it. I know some people don't. Yeah, his dad. Yeah, I know. Yeah, his dad work at Southern, so yeah, like he got educators in his family, but
That makes this situation even worse.
worse.
To think that you have come from people who work and have graduated from
Graduate from HBCUs.
and to not have done your homework and to be so entitled to think that they're going to pay. He's like, in a longer video where he's having his rant, he said, "Those MFers are lying to me. I know I'm not about to get a field." And it's like, what? If you wanted to coach at a HBCU and you didn't have any corporate sponsors or donors or people to help back you, then you should have tried to work at Prairie View. They have
Right.
nice facilities. Alabama State,
Yeah.
they have nice facilities. UAPB.
Yeah. Even though it's in the country.
I mean, what I'm saying though is they already have the facilities to where they don't have to invest in anything. The facilities are already there.
Right.
From somebody told me, I think one of the parents is a Grambling graduate. Now I'm not sure, but I think one of the parents is a Grambling graduate.
Yeah. His dad went to Southern. I think his
Right.
said mom went to Grambling.
We're Grambling. That's what I thought. And we don't act like that at Grambling.
Nah. And that, like you said, that makes it even worse that both of your parents, one of your parents work for HBCU, and then they both graduate from HBCUs. So it doesn't justify. It doesn't.
And then Jeremiah Clark says that those jobs aren't available, but those jobs were available in the past 2 years. He interviewed, for what I understand, for the Grambling job. He put his name in the hat for UAPB, or they name dropped him.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It has been said that he interviewed at Jackson State and we passed. Thank God.
Well, and Doc, I want to say this.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people gonna get upset with me about this, but see, one of the things we do in the Black community is we make mental illness normal, and we harbor and allow people to display mental illness verbally and physically, and we do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just telling you
I
that,
definitely thought that was a manic episode. Like, a
yeah,
manic
I thought that,
episode.
you know, like from what I heard and what I was taught, there's some issues there. There's some mental illness there. And I know, I mean, the first thing that hit me was disrespect. Okay, that was first. But there was some other things hit me too now that was, I felt like was mental illness. You know, I know you heard me today, Doc, and I talked about it. See, this thing about this Stockholm syndrome, we got to study that.
Right.
That's a deep thing. Because let me just say this to all of your people that's listening. Because I know you got a lot of people listening because everybody likes you, Doc, and Mr. Mona, I know that people love you. But let me just say this.
Mm-hmm.
There was a white lady almost 150 years ago. She wrote a book called Uncle Tom's Cabin. Her name was Harriet Beecher Stowe.
Right.
And in that book, she had a Black character called Sambo. And Sambo was used by Simon Legree. He was like a mean master because the book displayed two masters. One guy was supposed to be a good master, and Simon Legree was like a killer master.
Right.
But he had Sambo as one of the main characters, and his job was to brutalize Black people physically and to brutalize them verbally and mentally. And so that kind of mental illness is still among us.
Yes, sir.
And we don't bring it out. We don't acknowledge it. We think we're supposed to put up with it. Because like I said today, when I did hear what he said, I'm gonna be honest with you. I first thing came to my mind after the disrespect was mental illness. I know a lot of folk gonna get mad with me because let me just say this about us. Now, this is another thing Black people get mad about you with. See, here's the thing. We worship these celebrities, and that's because we think that they got it made. When they say they got $40 million or they got so many millions of dollars, we think that they worship. Because I tell everybody, you know, when it comes to Beyonce, we don't just want her to be a celebrity. We want to worship her as a goddess.
Right.
And I know a lot of folk get mad about that, but I say that. We worship her like she's a god, like we're supposed to pray to her. And that's just how we are. But we, for some reason, we are like that. That's a problem in our community, is that we put them celebrities on a pedestal and we let them do anything. And what we say is everything.
Uh-oh. Somebody must have called Mr. Ford in on the phone.
I just wanted to point out that
Okay.
is he back? Or is
Yeah, go ahead. Say your point. I'm gonna try to get this out the way.
Okay. Well, I just looking at the comments, somebody pointed out that what Ed Reed said, he wasn't lying. Ed Reed was mimicking the words of Deion Sanders, and he still didn't have the context to it. The main.
And now listen, I've been in the classroom for well over 30 years. Do you know how many classrooms I've walked into and they weren't clean, and the garbage can hadn't been emptied, the carpet was in bad shape. And was I supposed to go off like that? Was I supposed to go off and say
with Morgan Freeman, where he had to clean stuff up?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what he needed to have done. Is there not a Morgan Freeman movie out where he has to clean everything up?
It was called Lean on Me.
That was Lean on Me.
It was Lean on Me.
Yeah, Lean on Me. He took over as the principal of the high school, Eastside High in New Jersey, and so he had to clean out. Like when he said he cleaned the school out, he literally had to clean the school out, and that's true. That's a true story right there.
But that's what I'm just asking. All the rooms I have went into that was like that, did that give me the right to just go off on the school and the principal and the children and the institution because the room wasn't clean? Because I mean, let's think about this now. 2 hurricanes hit Daytona, right?
They in the back to back, almost what, a
Okay.
month and a half apart.
September, a hurricane hit, and they started cleaning up, and then boom, in November, another one hit. So if I'm the administration and another one hit, and now I'm still waiting on FEMA on the first one.
Right. Let's get to this. I'm gonna get to this statement right here. This is from John Horst. He said there are students and alums of BCU that is glad that Ed Reed spoke on conditions. Okay. It's a double. Now I'm gonna tell you just like this. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because what he said wasn't lying about what he said. It's
the context that
it's the context that he put it in. Yeah, it's the way that he delivered it. And I'm John. I'm not saying you wrong or nothing like that. I'm not saying anything like that.
As a matter of fact, Kamari Everett, I think he's the NFL.
Yeah, the big tight end,
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When I put on my Twitter, I put that I put up the Ed Reed tweet, or excuse me, the video, and he retweeted what I said, and he said basically he was glad that Ed Reed made those statements.
Well, let me say this from a person who basically grew up in the 60s. See, back in the day, now this is, I maybe we don't do this anymore, but I remember a time they used to say this. They said, don't air your dirty laundry.
Right.
Now, I still, kind of believe in that. I do. And I think that's why I had a big problem. Let me just say this now. Like I told you before, I've done a lot of studying on Bethune-Cookman. Do you know how many successful Black folks that come out of Bethune-Cookman? Do you know how many middle-class Black people what Bethune-Cookman has done to help the Black middle class and all of that? And then we're going to go off on that school. I mean, we're going to tolerate somebody saying them things about an institution that has had not only an effect in Florida, but all over this country. And so, because they didn't clean up your office, you're going to trash the school? Maybe I'm too old and I don't understand, but I'm just telling you, there was a time in the Black community, they would tell you, when I was growing up in the 60s, they said, you don't air your dirty laundry.
Right. Right. And I mean, to me, man, I think I said that already. I said that before. I think I said that yesterday. Don't air your dirty laundry. Me and my wife, we talked about this yesterday because I sent her both the Instagram post, not post, but the videos, and she was like, yeah, you don't air the dirty laundry out. You don't, you know what I'm saying? If
there's
you
a
got
way
grievance,
there's a way that you air it out. So
right.
with Deion Sanders, he would air the dirty laundry out. The only problem I had with Deion Sanders is that he would do the generalizations. If there was a problem at Jackson State, he would say it's all HBCUs.
Right. Don't generalize us in the whole thing. Excuse me, y'all.
And he'd also be like making up, like I already said this earlier, but I'm going to repeat it. He would say things like, why don't HBCUs have the names on the back of their jersey? And it's like, there's FBS's schools, USC, Penn State. They don't have the names on the back of their jerseys. And I was just taking a peek at the FCS championship. North Dakota State and South Dakota State have been at the top of the ranks for like 3 or 4 years, maybe even longer than that, maybe almost a decade. They've been the top in FCS, and neither one of them have the names on the back of their jerseys. So my point is, that Deion Sanders would single out certain issues that aren't mutually exclusive to HBCUs, and then they have misplaced all of the blame on the administration instead of talking about the misappropriations of funds at the state level.
But my thing about that is when he said that is what they're used to. They're not used to having all, no names on the jerseys, all this stuff like that. They're used to almost having damn near luxury. But then again, you gotta realize he didn't graduate, but he left Florida State in 1989. Florida State was still on the come up. And if Mr. Campbell is in the chat, he'll tell you Florida State was still on the come up. Florida State didn't get big until the 90s. And you get what I'm saying? Like, they didn't get big to the 90s. Ed Reed was in worse situation, worse conditions when he was at University of Miami. When he was at University of Miami, their practice facilities and fields and stuff like that wasn't all great either.
And they're not great today. They still don't have their own stadium.
They don't have their own stadium.
Because they played in the Orange Bowl.
They play in the stadium with the Dolphins.
And let's go back to that history about Dion. You know, they passed NCAA passed a rule about Dion. Dion had flunked out of Florida State, and they still allowed him to play in the bowl. And they came up with something called the Deion Sanders rule, which said if you flunked out, you couldn't play in the bowl. What I want you to do is put it in your computer, put in there the Deion Sanders rule. It'll come up.
I remember that one.
Yeah, it was a deal because he had flunked out, and they still allowed him to play in one of them New Year's bowls. And they came up with the Deion Sanders rule.
Mm-hmm. And it's just a thing. It's just the fact that, like, you gotta know Mika beginning. You gotta know, the beginnings that you came out of. Like, you didn't have it all, it wasn't all sweet. It wasn't all rosy. It wasn't.
In other words, stop acting like you was living in luxury and going to school in luxury.
Thank you.
You've been there before. You know what? Right. The main theme of this all is whether you feel like it was right, wrong, or indifferent, an email could have been sent. And some of these narratives that they project are for fanfare. For example, Deion Sanders saying the grass needs to be cut. Facilities management cuts grass on certain days. So I guess they didn't get to it at the time that he wanted. And so he decided to cut a patch of the grass for him by himself. But let's just be real. Facilities management, the way it works, they cut grass in certain areas on certain days. Another example of perpetuating a false narrative. Deion Sanders taking a bath in the pool in the hotel that's not even in Jackson. When from the outside looking in, people are going to say, and Deion Sanders, he had to take a bath in a pool. That pool wasn't even in Jackson.
It was in, I think that was in Madison.
And all of the state of Mississippi was under an ice storm / snowstorm. Right. So it's like some of the stuff that they do for fanfare. Another example, in Deion Sanders' most recent documentary, there was a documentary where there's a part where he was pushing the furniture, like they couldn't have facilities management move the furniture. Like, hey, I'm getting ready to push this furniture. Go ahead and record me. Like, you have 8 toes. We don't need you getting no more injuries. Please do not push that furniture, because they're going to be saying that Jackson State doesn't even have people to put the furniture in there. So it's just certain narratives that they look bad on us.
Yeah, I understand. I see where you're coming from. Like you control the narrative. You control the narrative. You control everything that's out there. So when, looking at it like this, when people, when I seen that comment by John Horst saying that BCU alum and students are happy that Ed Reed actually said that, like I said, keep it in-house. Like, you need to get with the Like I said, you need to get with the board of trustees because that's the ones who hired them. It ain't the interim. It ain't the president because you don't. It's an interim president.
It's just not over your office not being clean. That's not a type of thing that you do.
You're right. That's what I said. It can't be over that because
He
everybody
thought
done had
that
that problem.
He thought he was getting ready to get the Wakanda treatment, like Deion Sanders, and he walked onto campus and looked at it and said, "What kind of shit is this?" Like, it looked like,
and that's what he said. What kind of shit is this? Excuse my language.
Doc, and listen, I want to acknowledge this. Cedric Walker, you are absolutely correct. Every black child should have to read The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. You are absolutely correct. That's right. Because that, you know what? A lot of what you hear me say, that's why I say it, because I got it from The Miseducation of the Negro. But I just wanted to say that, Doc. This Cedric Walker is right on time.
Oh no, I know a full hand about that book. I've read that book about 4 or 5 times.
Listen, every black child should be forced to read it. Like, you know, they used to believe in my community, they would read us the 10 Commandments. You know, you had to read it. You had to know the 23rd Psalm. Every black child should have to read that Miseducation of the Negro. Every one of them.
Yep.
That should be mandatory, and he's right about that.
I will do it to my own kids, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody in the comments said, "How
was that?"
What did Mr. Mona say?
What'd you say?
I said, Addo Green said, "How do you keep talking about his office when he's talking about more than just his office? None of it warranted calling his employer a motherfucker."
Right.
On social media to a troll who doesn't know what HBCUs are, doesn't know their history. Right. If a random troll can get you that upset to where you're acting like that, how are you going to act on the football field when a player fumbles the ball?
Well, that's why I'm saying I think Bethune Cookman need to reconsider this hire. I think they need to reconsider.
But my whole thing on it now, on this subject right here, they made their bed. They got a lie in it.
Yeah.
No, that's not a bet. They can go ahead and retract it just based off the disparaging comments.
Yeah, the disparaging comments, but my whole thing is I'm gonna say it just like this. Bethune is desperate.
Well, they might be desperate, but he's not the answer because he's already done said, "I don't want no." I'm gonna say got because he said the one with D. He said, "I don't want no got donors." So you already starting off on the wrong foot because how do you think you're gonna get anything unless it is a donor?
Yeah, Sam Washington is still available.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is available.
And he needs to, and you need to go ahead and get him because we were just looking at this. Ed Reed was only going to be at Bethune 2 years, maybe 3, based off of his. And you know what? Anybody that's in this chat, please go back and look at the previous show with, I think that was the first show that I came on here with. We did a joint show about Ed Reed. I was singing his praises. I was so excited.
I was too. I
had a 3-hour show about that.
We were all talking about how good it's going to be for SWAC football, how it's going to be good for Bethune, that they really needed this to jolt their recruitment, and that they've just been through a lot. I was speaking very highly of him.
I was too. I felt the same way.
As soon as I seen this mental breakdown,
and
blaming somebody behind a keyboard doing it, you can't imagine it. And Jackson up 15-7, the men's team. 15-7.
Now I got a question. Somebody asked me, am I gonna speak on the Uncle Luke interview? I don't know what Uncle Luke said. So somebody put up in a thank you for Fred, thank you for coming a new member today. Thank you for coming a new member. Thank you. My thing about this is that I don't know what Luke said. I don't know what Luther Campbell said. But if I go back and see it, then I could, you know what I'm saying, I could get my assessment on it. I could give my 2 cents on it. But I gotta see what I gotta see and listen to what he said. And if you know about it, if you know what he said, just kind of break it down to me in what he said in the chat. Now I got a thing too. For all the flack that we give Hugh Jackson and all the ribbon that we kind of give Eddie George, do y'all understand that they move in silence?
I mean, the only difference is they're losing. But
yeah, I mean, the only difference they lose.
I will say this: like Eddie George, he got the I don't know if he did it, but they got a new weight room. I was able to see that. And then somebody on Twitter said, "Thank you, Coach Hugh Jack, for scheduling a meeting with us to let us know what your needs are, so that we can pool resources and get it done." So basically, once again, Ed Reed is not, just because you're a Hall of Famer, that doesn't automatically mean that you should be a coach. That was probably one of the first things that he should have done, which is contact and say, I need to have a meeting with all the Bethune Cookman greats, people with money. I need to give them my vision and my plan. Even if your vision and plan is to go to Power 5, you can just say, I have a vision and a dream to revive Bethune Cookman football to something, to how it was. What was it in the 2000s that they were winning?
Yeah, that was Brian Jenkins, and then Brian left and went to Bama State, and then it was Sims.
Yeah,
Sims had a terrible, I think, last 2 years or maybe last 3 years.
Last 2 years.
Right. But that Brian Jenkins was dominant.
All you have to do is say, I want to bring Bethune Cookman back. I want to beat FAMU. I want just revitalize it. That's all you had to do. He doesn't even have he's only been there a week, and you already doing that when all you had to do is reach out to somebody.
But it goes back to something we always say. See, in athletics, winning and championships starts with the president. Now, do they have a president or have an interim president? Which one?
They're on the third interim president.
And see, that's a problem. That's a
problem. That is a very big problem.
Well, part of it is if you're crippled in infrastructure, which now they're not only are they crippled financially, but also with infrastructure, you're going to have a high turnover because they're not getting the funding from FEMA to fix these things. So everything's in disarray. It was already crippled to begin with. And the amount of pressure that you get, you're going to have a revolving door. It's almost like when President Bush passed that No Child Left Behind Act. Well, No Child Left Behind set up the public education to basically fail.
And it didn't start with don't forget Nation at a Risk that the Bennett guy wrote for Reagan. His brother owned the Baltimore Orioles. He was the czar of education. Last name was Bennett. You remember him?
Yeah. Earl Bennett.
What's his name?
Earl Bennett.
So so that might be like the start of it, but for my area,
it started with the Reagan administration. The attack on public schools started with it started with a paper called Nation at Risk.
Yeah.
And it was their justification. That's when they said everything had to be measured by tests, which everybody knows a test does not measure a person's intelligence.
Right.
And I just think that people have to understand, like, we have in HBCUs, we have the No Child Left Behind type of policy with the government.
Right.
Like, they try to give us as little bit of money as they possibly can.
I'm gonna stop for a second. Robert Bowden, we're not mad because he's saying he's right. Nobody's not mad what that he said. What he's saying is right. It is the context of how he said it. The context of how he said it is saying that, like, with the expletives in it. First of all, you don't run on social media, but because we live in a world where social media is quote unquote king, then you run to everything. You know, when you get something big, like something happened to you, you're happy and stuff. You run on social media, you run on Facebook, you put it in a in
Nothing's going to change though. Like
right.
As far as him doing that, calling them motherfuckers, he just basically, everybody's got a chip on their shoulder now. And there are going to be some people that are responsible for approving his contract, and they might grudgingly approve it. But as far as like people doing favors, like, you have to understand Ashley Robinson and Coach Prime's relationship. They had a really good relationship.
They had a symbiotic relationship.
When you have a really good relationship with the AD is going to do everything in their power to make sure you have certain things.
But here's the thing about the AD for Bethune. How can you have a good relationship with your AD when he's also on the road coaching basketball too? That's another big thing. Welcome, King Fuses. Welcome, man. I enjoy your podcast, man. You be doing you're doing a lot of good things.
And thank you, Mr. Campbell. You're right. His name is William Bennett.
William Bennett.
Thank
okay.
you, Mr. Campbell.
This is a quote right here. He said he ain't cussed out the Baltimore Ravens when they ain't paying him.
So that's his master.
You correct.
He didn't cuss out people at University of Miami either.
That's right.
So this is the thing. You know how to act. You just showing your natural black ass because you feel like HBCUs are lesser. And that's why you don't need to be the coach there.
It's Stockholm Syndrome. Look it up, somebody. Stockholm Syndrome.
Reggie,
he made sure Deion Sanders was like, I need a training table. What do you think the AD did? He went
and got a training table.
Found a way to get a training table. Deion Sanders, we need to stay in the hotel. We need to be comfortable. We need this, that, and the third. We need to stay over there before game day because all of my team members need to be together. What were they doing over in that hotel? Every home game, and even games where they were going to either Alcorn or Valley, they were over there in that hotel. I don't know where the hotel is located at. I don't know if is it Byram?
I think it'd be in Madison or something like that.
Yeah, they're staying at a nice hotel. My kids need to eat this, that, and the third. What do they make sure? They make sure they cater the food from Johnny T's or from wherever. Like, the relationship that the AD had with Deion Sanders was such that all of his needs were met.
Okay. Now here's I guess a little pushback from this is Jordan Haddon. Shout out to my guy Jordan. Said that Ed Reed has spoken out on Miami needing to upgrade facilities multiple times. That's the reason why they started supporting the program like they should, and now they have Mario Cristobal. To me, I'm gonna see it just like this, Jordan.
I ain't never.
Instead of having like when he did that pushback, they should have did it when you had freaking Jimmy Johnson and you had Butch Davis and they had Dennis Erickson and Larry Coker when they was coaching and winning championships. Ah, damn, the Cowboys just scored again. My bad, y'all. But they should have been doing this. You winning championships at Miami, and the school is not putting the money in for funding and stuff like that. That is as far as taking some of the money, putting it for athletics, and the rest of it in the general fund, which is what they do. Which that is a travesty. But now you have all that stuff because you have the donors, you have the boosters. They have the boosters, they have donors. They do that. They, it's just like what I said. Excuse me. I said about this man missed the third straight extra point. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm redoing the show and I'm taking a look at this game. But it should have been started, like all this stuff like this should have been started back in the 80s about the University of Miami. Point blank.
Well, let me ask you this question. Do you think them rich people in Coral Gables was listening to Ed Reed? Do y'all believe that?
No, that's what I said. And people were talking about, well, it is a funny thing. People talking about, University of Miami always stay clean. I'm like, bro, but it's in the middle of Millie White Coral Gables.
Coral Gables. That's what I'm saying. You think they listening to him?
It's just like it's like SMU. Do you think people in Highland Park and University Park that's pretty much predominantly white give a damn about what's going on the other side of Mockingbird Lane? No, they don't care.
And Ed Reed. Do they care about Ed Reed?
They didn't care about Ed Reed. Hell, they didn't care about
They were using him the same way that
recruiting, for recruiting.
Florida State was using Dion.
Yeah.
And he had aspirations to be something other than their recruiting mechanism. Like he wanted to do something better. And they said, well, why you don't try HBCU? It's funny how they keep talking about how top tier talent wants to go to a Power 5, but when it's the Power 5's chance to pick you for a coaching position, you're going to be overlooked.
Right.
They showed you how they felt about black coaches the way they did Willie Taggart. They didn't give him 2 years. He got 15 games.
Not even Willie Taggart, the other man who they were setting him up for failure by calling the other team and telling them what plays to run.
Now, who was that?
Was that Arizona State or was it?
That's Arizona State was Herm Edwards.
That's Herm Edwards.
Yep, they were Herm Edwards had staff that were cheating.
So that's sabotage. That's what that is.
They were
sabotage. I said about that, Mr. Ford. I was mad about that.
And then you have Colorado, where you have I think Colorado's like that's the school that they give an honorary black coach an opportunity to be at a Power 5, but they, don't really have interest in winning.
But the funny thing was about Mel Tucker, right? Mel Tucker went 5-7 his 1 year in Colorado and got the hell up out of there and banked on at Michigan State.
He got a bag at Michigan State. Well, he got about 10 years, didn't he? Didn't he get a 10-year contract?
$95 million. He did not look back.
Yeah. Because they hadn't had a winning season at Colorado since 2005 or 2004.
Nah, it's about, I think it was like in the early 2010s or something like that. They had a couple of winning seasons after that.
They had a win, because remember, McIntyre didn't do nothing. Calderell didn't do nothing.
Oh yeah, Calderell was a scapegoat to me.
Mel Tucker
was he was only there for 1 year.
What about the guy Dan Hawkins?
Dan Hawkins was terrible.
Okay, so wait a minute. How many coaches we done called out?
Probably about 5.
That's what I'm thinking. We need to check that. I don't think they had a winning season since 2004 or 2005. The last winner I think up there was that guy Gary Barnett. Now, Dan McCartney had all them brothers coming in from Texas and California. That's because he was in the wasn't he in the 12? He was in the Big 12, right? Because they got out of the Big. Didn't Colorado get out of the Big 12 and go Pac-12?
Yeah.
That's how they lost Texas. That's why they couldn't get them boys out of Texas.
Yeah, it's been about 6-7 years since Colorado had a winning season because they was in the Pac-12 championship in 2016.
Wait a minute, Colorado was in the Pac-12 championship?
Mm-hmm.
What year?
2016.
Doc, you sure?
I'm sure. In fact, it was a blowout too. Am I right?
Wait,
Yeah. They
okay,
played
so
Washington.
who did
Yeah, they got blown out by
who did they play?
University of Washington.
And who was the coach at Colorado?
Let me see.
Because I thought Barnett was the last winning coach they had.
Let me see.
Because I remember Dan Hawkins.
Yeah, 2016. They were 10-4. They were actually, like I said, they was actually good in 2016.
And who was the coach?
The coach was Mike McIntyre.
I remember McIntyre. Yeah, I remember him, Mike McIntyre. Okay.
But before that, they were So when they got into the Pac-12, they was 3-10, 1-11, 4-8, 2-10, 4-9, and then they had 10-4. And then after that, that was the last winning season that they had. 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 3 years in a row. 4-2 because that was COVID year. So do you really count that? That was probably like the last winning season that they had as far as they was above 500. Then they went 4-8, 21, and then last season they went 1-11. But before, and then this is the Big 12 when they was in the Big 12, y'all. All right. So the real winning season they had in the Big 12 was 10-2 because that wasn't even Cordell Stewart's year because he left in 95. He played in the old Big 8.
Yeah.
So it went 10-2, 5-6, 8-4, 75, 3-8, 10-3, and 9-5. Now you got to realize Colorado was in the Big 12 North, so they was playing against basically that's nothing but straight up Big 8 teams right there.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Big 8. Yeah,
that's all they were playing.
Did J.V. Kane come from Colorado? Remember J.V. Kane? He played for the St. Louis Cardinals. Was he from Colorado?
I wouldn't even know. I got to ask my uncle on that.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, McIntyre, that was his only winning season, and then the bottom fell out. But they haven't had a winning season. It wasn't Rick Neuheisel,
right?
What's that?
It wasn't Rick Neuheisel.
Rick Neuheisel. Yeah, it was Rick Neuheisel.
Rick Neuheisel. I saw it. Mr. Campbell just said it. Yeah, I remember Rick Neuheisel.
Yeah, Rick Neuheisel. But when it comes down to it, man, I'm gonna just say it just like this: we kind of land that plane. You messed up what you said on your Instagram. Bethune Cookman need to get in contact with him and try to nip that in the bud.
What are they gonna do? They need to add some clauses in his contract.
You have to. You might have to.
Listen, do him. Wait. Remember what they did to Kyrie Irving? They said Kyrie had to do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to take a soft course on the history of HBCUs. You're going to have to publicly apologize on camera, not through a message.
No, that's what I'm saying.
This
is what I'm saying, though. This is what I'm saying. Even if the board of trustees that made this decision, right, and if the AD was on it, with the AD was with it, which is Reggie Theus, they have an associate. They should have an associate AD. So they should have been did this. Bethune Cookman is doing this all the wrong way, y'all.
Bethune Cookman thought that they were going to get another Dion, and it's just not. Can you imagine the fallout at the weekly presser? Oh my goodness, it's going to be so embarrassing. It's going to be so embarrassing. when they ask him, why did you lose the game? Excuse me, those motherfuckers fumbled the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah. King. Yeah. Reggie Theus is the AD and he's the head basketball coach. So what time does he what kind of time do Reggie Theus have right now with, you know what I'm saying, talking to the coaches and sport, you know, the administration with the sport, you know, with the sports programs on campus when he has to go and deal with his own basketball team. Like, literally. And yeah, Mr. Campbell, they did it to save money because they slashed the budget. They slashed the budget to save themselves, so they can save money.
He might also be trying to get like a Dion type of contract, but Bethune doesn't have the revenue from football to warrant increasing that amount. Like, they're not going to be able to give him 10% of ticket sales and 10% of this and 10% of that. And and he makes it abundantly clear that he doesn't have to be there. See, that's the difference. Like, you actually want to be here so that you can get a Power 5 head position at a Power 5, but you have to remind us, I don't need to be here. I should leave. Like, the first time somebody tells you how they feel about you, believe them.
But my thing on this it's just like we said, we gonna be the dead horse when it comes to funding to alums raising money for funds. You have you got the kids that we have that's coming out of these schools now, that's coming out of these universities, colleges and universities now, they're not going to be equipped to give money back to the universities at that present moment.
I'll pull it up for him because we just keep
we keep going into
saying we're beating a red horse, but good Lord, how many times do we have to regurgitate that there's no amount of money that a Power 5, or excuse me, there's no amount of money that a HBCU donation pool can raise that will level the playing field. And we're state funded.
Yeah.
The state needs to fund us. The donations that we need to be, they need to be from the state. Those are the donations that I would like, the donations from the state, the ones that we are supposed to have. So everybody that's talking shit, tweet the state and tell them, give those HBCUs their money.
Because Doc, I'm gonna ask you, do you think we're gonna get our money? Did you get that list I read today? About
yeah, I have it. Can you put the list up?
This one,
the money they owe these black colleges that in the last 30 years.
That's not even a full list, because I know for a fact Valley State University, Mississippi Valley, they are underfunded by and undercut by the millions as well, because they, in the Ayers case, they weren't able to meet their 10% non-minority quota as fast as Alcorn and Jackson State.
Right.
So when you don't meet that 10% threshold, they don't give you as much money.
Right. I understand. Yeah, the trick in the small writing.
So when people keep on saying, well, why? This is just only, how many universities is this? This is less than 20 universities that Forbes did a study on.
Right.
So in all actuality, it's probably like, I would guesstimate like maybe $500-$700 billion
Yeah,
If you take into account
that's right. Because on those right there, they said they cheated those schools out of 12 billion.
So I would guessing that it's about 700 billion, and then
Yeah,
even if you're a private HBCU, the way that they would owe them money is because there's certain types of like infrastructure around the city that they're supposed to maintain,
right.
and by not doing that, you're also affecting those private institutions.
Right.
And Jackson,
Now this is what
Texas
Luke
Southern.
was speaking on, right? Uncle Luke was speaking on right here. So I didn't even know. So now Espo, you about to make me go back and look at it.
I don't think you want to watch. I don't think you want to watch it. It might make your blood pressure go high because they're over here talking about missing money. You know that Deion Sanders sent this message to Uncle Luke, and told him to put it out there because Deion Sanders is passive aggressive. He's professional, but then he has minions that he sends to do his dirty work. Like, this has dirty work written all over it. Like, go put this out so that they can talk about me, because he's in Colorado and he can't be connected to any mess. He
needs to get a reality show. He need to get one of them reality.
He's in a 360 deal. They not letting nothing go in and out. None of the shenanigans. He's in a 360 deal at Colorado. So he probably sent a message to Uncle Luke and told him to drop this information saying that money is missing, when in reality, those white folks down in Mississippi wish they could catch Jackson State slipping.
Right.
They wish they could catch Jackson State slipping. So when they say, "Oh, you guys misappropriated funds," they're going to use that as an excuse for why they're not funding Jackson State properly, or why they haven't approved a water system.
Right.
You're the largest university in the city of Jackson, right?
Yes, there's Belhaven, Tougaloo. Those are
private
colleges.
Yeah, you're right. They'd love to take you over.
Yeah,
you're the largest. Yeah,
merge Jackson State.
Yeah.
So anything negative, trust and believe, if there was some money missing,
yeah,
they would have came out so quickly with it.
Oh,
there would have been an audit. They probably are auditing. So, they look for stories like that, because then
they would love to gentrify Jackson State, huh?
You see the comment that they say you on point like Stacey Abrams. Ha! Oh, this one, I gotta give Mr. Campbell. He said somebody said something about that Trump gave us money, but here's the real reason. Thank you for letting them know. Trump didn't give us nothing. They put it in the bill, and I remember this. They put it in the bill because for COVID. This is all part of the bill for COVID, and we didn't even get all the money that we were supposed to get, but the PWIs got triple the money that we were supposed to get. Everybody was supposed to get damn near almost an equal amount.
And then it's disingenuous, because the COVID funds, I've seen that President Biden tried to talk about it as well and say that HBCUs got this amount of money, but the Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund, the HERF funds, those were not used towards infrastructure. Those were used to give out to the students.
Right.
And so basically, if you were a student there, they were sending that money directly from your account. So you were getting extra money during that time frame to help with cost of groceries and money. So it was called the HERF funding. They could apply it to your tuition, but that money was not for HBCUs and infrastructure. And so that's one of the things that I didn't like about Biden, is that they pushed that narrative. But basically what they did is they gave all universities money, and then they pulled out the HBCU funds and added it all up and say, look, we gave these HBCUs money.
Miss Gina, what you said on this, if anybody want to speak their piece about what was said about that, and anything about the Erie fiasco, I mean, I will drop the link into the chat so y'all can join. You don't have to put your face on the camera. All you have to do is just make sure that your microphone is going to be set up, and you can speak your piece. I'm down for different dialogue when we have shows like this, because it gets stuff done. My thing about this is, let's see, why the slave owner? Hold on. Why would the slave owner tell the slave how much he pay his field workers and be honest? So he said, why would the slave owner, the governor, tell the slave Dion how much he pay his field workers, universities, and be honest? Anybody got something to say about that right there?
The same governor who has a little linked hand in the Brett Favre situation.
Pretty much.
That reminds me out of this guy you call Tater Tot and Phil Bryant. Who's the slickest? Was it Haley Barber or them guys right there?
Shoot.
Haley Barber. I wish
That's
I
what
could
I thought.
find, I wish
Haley
I
Barber
could find.
Haley Barber was slick, but he was wide open slick with it.
He was at Jackson State when I was a freshman. And
Doing what?
He was at Jackson State. I'm gonna see if I can find the picture. There's literally
Was he a professor?
No, he was there. He had to have been campaigning or something, because
okay, he was campaigning. Okay, yeah.
Well, when was you a freshman there at Jackson, Timona?
He used my picture for a pamphlet to promote that he was running for governor.
You know, he had aspirations to be president of the United States. Y'all don't remember that?
I had a Jackson State sweater on.
Haley Barber.
Haley Barber?
Yeah, he wanted to be, he was going around seeing if he could get support to run for president. Nobody remembers that?
I ain't never heard about that.
Yeah, I remember that.
The last governor I remember was Kurt Fordyce at the time.
Deputy Mario. Phil Bryant was helping Brett Favre, but it did come out that Tater Tot was texting Brett Favre as well. I can pull up the
that's right.
article if you would like.
Yeah. Now, did his daughter transfer from Southern Mississippi, or did she stay?
I'm sorry, what now?
Did Brett Favre's daughter transfer from Southern Miss, or did she stay?
I think she transferred.
I think she transferred.
He's from Hattiesburg, but that just goes to show you how white folks are. Brett Favre has so many corporations that would pay for that volleyball stadium. It'll make your head spin. But instead of doing that, you decide, let's take from the poor. Nobody will find out. And even if they do find out, nobody will care.
Yeah, because he's done a lot. Remember, he sent the female reporter a picture. Wasn't it an illicit picture or something? Wasn't that Brett Favre's?
Who?
Remember Brett Favre? He was with the Jets. Was it the Jets of Minnesota? He sent an obscene picture to a reporter.
Oh, he was with the Jets at the time.
Yeah, he's done a lot.
And I just dropped it in the comments for Deputy Mario regarding Brett Favre speaking with Governor Tate Reeves, the current governor, about using some funds for something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one of the things Brett Favre told him to do was give Dion some money for Shadua, didn't he?
I don't even think that really happened. I just think they were trying to get.
Oh, I remember. No, he said. I think he said something about when we was talking about Shadua. Was talking about do some build something to where it can lure Shadua from State to USC.
Southern Miss, right? Wasn't he trying to help recruit him to Southern Mississippi?
Mm-hmm.
I think they were using that as a cop out, because I never saw a Southern Miss offer from Shador had like over 20 offers, and I never saw the Southern Miss one. But I will say this, that's a cop out, because whatever facilities he's speaking about, it's going to take some time to build. So I think they were trying to get Dion to be caught up in their mess, so they could quiet things down. If you notice, right around that time, they kept on bringing up Deion Sanders to try to like get people not talking about it anymore, and we're not talking about it anymore.
Yeah, they knew what they was doing. It was a tactic. It was a propaganda tactic.
Yeah.
But my thing about that is when I remember that was it was Shador's junior year and they were trying to get him to come to USM.
Yeah, and he did visit. Remember the game he visited? They were playing Alcorn.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. That is news to me.
Yeah,
you didn't know about? I knew about that.
I still don't think that you saying that. Oh, we were trying to get Shador there. It's like, huh? You're trying to get Shador, so that's not really a good reason to try to build something. Is for somebody else's son. Like, just say you was trying to do it because you wanted Southern Miss to have some good facilities. It worked with the volleyball, so you might as well move on to the next facility that needs to be done.
And it's not like you don't have a Hall of Famer, almost a Hall of Famer son at school. Hell, you got Frank Gore Jr. down there. So
yeah. I remember when Bobby Collins was the coach down there. You had a guy named Reggie Collier, Sammy Winder. They had some players down there. That was back in was that the 80s, early 80s? Y'all remember Reggie went to the Dallas Cowboys, I think.
This is crazy talking about why this happens in the SWAC and not the MEAC. Oh, it happens everywhere. You just don't hear too much about it in the MEAC. You have more incompetency with your commissioner in the MEAC than what you see in the SWAC.
They haven't had a commissioner in the MEAC since what, Ken Free or who? Listen, they haven't had any leadership in that commissioner's office because Dr. Dennis Thomas was there almost 20 years, and now you got Miss Steele. Yeah, Miss Steele. That's well. Anyway. I can tell you one thing I was happy about when FAMU left the MEAC. I was happy.
Let's see. Talking about, I think, they wanted. In fact, they wanted Dion to be the head coach over at USM. He wanted him to be the head coach at USM.
Yeah, I kind of remember that was Brett Favre pushing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that. The guy that's up here at University of Georgia, he's offense coordinator. He was the coach at USM, wasn't he? Jeff Monken?
Jeff Monken, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I remember him. Jay Hobson left Alcorn and went down there. Like I said, Bobby Collins had to be early 80s because he had that guy, Reggie Collins.
Yeah, Bobby Collins.
He went to SMU.
SMU.
Yeah, but he was at Southern Mississippi.
Yeah. A lot of people were saying when he left USM, who somebody the football people were like, who is this country bunker coming in?
Yeah,
trying to coach this team. And this was after Eric Dickerson and Craig James, all of them left.
Right.
SMU. But they were still going on to pay for play.
Yeah, that's right. Because I think when he was there, that's when they gave him the death penalty, or that after?
No, he was there.
He was there. That's right. Yeah. Yeah,
he was there when they gave him the death penalty.
Listen, they came. Grambling played them. We played them one year with. They had Craig James and Eric Dixon. We played them in Irving, Texas. They ran over us. They scored 50 or 60 points. Then they came to Shreveport and played us with a boy named Reggie Dupart. We should have won the game. But listen, our guys came on the bus. They came in their own cars. They didn't even bring a bus. All the players had cars.
Oh, yeah. I remember Reggie Dupart.
Yeah, Reggie Dupart. Yeah. We had a boy, they called him Houdini. He muffed a punt. That's how they won the game.
But yeah, but like it's a lot of things going on.
Who keeps on bringing up the MEAC?
Russell, he a MEAC guy.
If we want to talk about the MEAC, obviously, if everybody left the MEAC to come over to the SWAC, obviously there's some issues in the administration.
Oh yes.
So don't do that, please.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is, once again, we can all revisit it. It's all about funding.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to rehash this. Anytime that South Carolina State continuously books Clemson and South Carolina, risking their players,
Yeah, they get the boys hurt
every year, and
Yeah.
it messes up their players, and it messes up the morale, and then they get to the MEAC conference games and think that they're just supposed to sweep it. That's what happened to them this year.
Yeah.
They thought when they got to the
Yeah.
MEAC that they was just gonna go ahead and sweep, and they got their butts kicked in the MEAC.
Well, see, South Carolina State's money is up there in Myrtle Beach at that school called Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina didn't become a college until 1974. And so they diverted the money that was supposed to go to South Carolina State. That money is now at Coastal Carolina. They got the same problem as every other HBCU. They owe them a lot of money.
So yeah, we it's still a lot of things going on. We got Coach Simmons. Coach Simmons, what's going on, man? Oh, okay. There's a difference from Ed Reed and Tyrone Poole, HBCU grad and first round pick and 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, Tyrone Poole has class. I've met him. He went to Fort Valley State.
Fort Valley.
Yeah, I remember him. He's from I think he came from Troup County High. That's outside of Atlanta. That's LaGrange, Georgia. Troup, that's Troup.
Uh-oh. We always get Mr. Ford back in here. But yeah, it's always gonna be we always gonna beat the dead horse when it comes to it. I'm put just
the
like
reason why we're beating a dead horse on every single subject is because the same narratives are perpetuated. So we're going to mimic it and give you the same correct information. See, this is the thing. Russell Haynes, he just wants to talk about how the SWAC beat the MEAC, but in reality, that's fine. I can't wait for the SWAC MEAC challenge in Atlanta. This is probably going to be one of the biggest games in the FCS. And the reason why I say outside of the Celebration Bowl that it'll be one of the biggest games is because the Celebration Bowl outdid the FCS championship. So
every year, right?
The MEAC SWAC challenge is going to be one of the biggest.
It'll be a sellout.
Especially with Jacoby Durant and James Houston, their rookie years, they did so well at rookie football. And then there's a possibility we might see was Shaq Davis is declared for the NFL draft from South Carolina State. Then we have Aubrey Miller and Dallas Daniels. Yeah. So this is going to be one of the biggest games in FCS football.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's at Georgia State, so that'll be a sellout easily because they do, I think, 25 or 26,000. That's the old Brave Stadium. They gave it to Georgia. Well, they sold it to Georgia State. That game right there could, with it being a night game, that game could easily, if they would open up those top decks, that game could do 40,000 easily.
And I'm gonna agree with Mr. Campbell right here. FAMU should have been in the SWAC 30 years ago.
That's what I say. That's what I say. Because really, you know, the rivalry, even though it was off and on, that's a heavy rivalry between FAMU and Southern. Because let me tell you something, them people at Southern don't like nothing orange and green. And them people at FAMU don't like nothing that Columbia blue and gold. That rivalry goes back, I think, into the 30s.
Yeah.
That's Arnett Mumford against Jake Gaither. I was talking to some people from Southern about that game back in the days, back in the 50s and the 40s, and they said Arnett Mumford practice. He would have his regular practice, and then they would have another practice for FAMU. They practiced for FAMU the whole year. They didn't just do a week of preparation for FAM. He practiced the whole year for FAM. That's how deep that was.
Let's see. What do you say about this? Is 16% of African Americans trying to earn a 4-year college degree at a university that attends the HBCU? Should the HBCU percentage number be higher?
Oh, I didn't know it was 16. Last time I checked, it was 10. But the HBCUs turn out something like 60 or 50% of all the black lawyers. We turn out 50 or 60% of all the medical doctors. We turn out 50 or 60% of all the dentists. So if you're going to go to them professional schools after you're undergraduate, you probably need to go to a black undergraduate. You need to go to a HBCU. Yeah.
Oh man. See what's going on with this. The Cowboys we just beat the brakes off Tampa Bay right now.
Now, dog, look who you're playing. Tampa Bay, do they ever win in record?
Oh my God.
Does Tampa Bay ever win in record?
4 straight extra points.
Well, he'll be cut after the game.
Oh my God. What is wrong with him?
He'll be cut after the game.
Oh, Jesus. 4 missed extra points.
Now, who do y'all play next week?
Oh, we'll play San Fran.
Woo, that's a tall order right there, baby.
They
look like they're ready for Super Bowl.
It'll be a better game.
Hey, listen, I saw them. Was that Saturday? Didn't they play Saturday?
Who? San Fran?
Man, they look good.
Yeah, they play Saturday.
Oh, boy. That's going to be a big one. We used to have him here in Atlanta, that Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, yeah.
And when he left the Falcons, the whole organization failed. They blew that Super Bowl against New England. He didn't even come back to Atlanta. He went straight to San Francisco, and the Falcon organization failed from that point on.
Fred, I'm gonna tell you just like this. He had one job to do. Just make the extra point. That is 4 extra points he done missed. This game should be 28-0 right now. And they done fumbled the ball on the kickoff. All right. Oh, Lord. I know there's some basketball action going on as far as the basketball.
Howard beat Morehouse, right?
They're playing. They should have been. They should be.
Because it came on at 7:00.
Yeah.
So it's probably over. I'm quite sure that's over.
Yep. 89-65.
That was Howard.
Mm-hmm.
And for all them Georgetown people up there, when y'all get ready to fire Patrick Ewing, which will be at the NSCs, the guy y'all need is Johnny Dawkins. Johnny Dawkins is the head coach at University of Central Florida. Bring him back to D.C. to take over that Georgetown program. Johnny Dawkins.
Now, did Johnny Dawkins, he coached Taco Fall, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
UCF, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Johnny still got the Duke job. What's the name? Pulled his mess.
John
Coach
Shire.
K. Yeah, Coach K pulled his mess. But Johnny should have got that Duke job. But I'm saying Georgetown's they're going to get rid of Patrick. But the guy that will revive Georgetown is Johnny Dawkins.
So Jackson State is at halftime right now against Texas Southern, 47-31.
47-31. 47-31.
Is that girls? That's men or women?
That's men's right there.
That's okay.
Women. The women won. They beat Texas Southern tonight, 87-58. So we're gonna get to the basketball.
Texas Southern's on about a 4-game losing streak, right? What they've been getting beat up here lately, right?
I think the girls only won 1 game this season.
No, I'm talking about the men. The men are on like a 4-game losing streak.
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
they've been getting beat up here lately. Because I watched somebody, it was a good game. Alcorn beat them on national HBCU Go. Didn't they? No, I'm sorry.
This
Who did
game
they?
was on. This game was on HBCU Go tonight.
Right, but
Which one?
who was on HBCU Go Saturday? Because I
That was the
watched two
Grambling
games.
game.
That's right.
Grambling and
Oh
Southern,
man,
wasn't it?
listen.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all something. That guy, that's Sean Woods. That guy's got Southern looking good, man. Listen, I'm telling y'all, both of them teams look good, but that guy, Sean Woods, that guy got Southern's playing about 9 or 10 players. They look good. Grambling looks tough too. They don't. Grambling, Southern, and Alcorn are probably and let's see, is it Jackson or Alabama State? Should be Jackson, right? Aren't those the top 4 teams?
Yeah.
Who the top 4 best men's program?
Oh, we can pull it up to look at it. You're talking about
Southern's got to be the top program, and
the
probably
SWAC basketball rankings.
Yeah, are the standings? Yeah, because Southern's got to be the top program. Southern's looking really good. I saw them Saturday. That guy's doing it.
Which I'm surprised because I really, really thought that the Grambling, what was that, Fool's Gold or something? They were beating up against all of those different Power Fives.
Yeah, they did. I think, didn't they beat Colorado?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they beat somebody else, I think. But listen, the thing that I want the commissioner to do, they got to move that SWAC tournament out of Birmingham. That thing has to go to Jackson. If not Jackson, the second place needs to be Baton Rouge. They got to move that thing out of Birmingham. It's got to come to either Jackson or Baton Rouge.
Let's see what else we got in women. We got Alabama A&M beat Alabama State 60-46. This is still women.
Alabama A&M beat Alabama State girls.
Mm-hmm.
Because they probably the second best program, Alabama State, after Jackson.
FAMU got.
I put it up there so that you can pull it up.
Yeah.
The standings.
Well, I told you about the FAMU situation. I've been listening to Kofi. Kofi and them want to run the girls coach out, the ladies coach out and the men's coach. They want to run both of them out. Now, here's the thing. When you run them out, does Tiffany Dawn Sykes know how to build a women's program and a men's program? Does she know how to do that? Now, I know she can do compliance, but does she know how to go and get coaches that can, because, Florida A&M's arena is larger than Georgia Tech's arena. Yeah, I think Florida A&M can seat 9,000.
Now I'm gonna say it just like this: it's gonna come down between Jackson State and Southern on the men. On the men's side, Jackson State and Southern's gonna come down to them. It could be a 3-team race.
I think Grambling's gonna pull it out.
I think they'll be in it. I think Grambling's. They'll be in it
towards the end. But
and don't forget. Let me tell you, don't forget Alcorn. Alcorn has a good program. I've watched them.
Grambling has the best overall.
No, Southern has the best overall team.
No, it's as far as record wise goes. She said Grambling got the best overall record right now at 10.
But I'm talking, who's the best in the conference? What's the conference record?
Oh, it's Southern 5-0.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That's why I said they'll probably have to. What it is when Grambling has to play Southern again, I think they play them in Grambling. Next time
it's in Utah. That game's in Utah. They're gonna be featured when they have the NBA All-Star game. They're gonna play in Utah. Yeah, what's the date of the All-Star game?
That's in February. That's
the day before the All-Star. That's right. Grambling and Southern will play in Utah.
Let's see. FAMU beat Mississippi Valley women tonight, 69-53. Prairie View and Alcorn.
Who won that?
56-55. Prairie View by 1.
That's Coach
But I heard it was a brawl between some of the girls between both teams.
You guys want to see the fight?
Oh,
should I pull it up? Should I pull the fight up or no?
Is it on ESPN? Because if it's on ESPN, I don't want to get I got.
No, it's not on ESPN. It's on
Okay.
one of those HBCU pages on Twitter.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'll find it and pull it up.
Listen, somebody's asked. The reason I want that game and I want the tournament in Jackson is that we can do 8,000-9,000 people in Jackson. When you have that tournament over in Birmingham, you're talking about 300 and 400 people. Those children deserve more than that.
Yeah, Baruti, I'm gonna ask this question right here. What I think about A&T's new football coaching hire, Vincent Brown, is a great hire. It's a great hire. He knows the Colonial. I mean, he's an HBCU grad from the SWAC, from the old SWAC, Mississippi Valley.
Mississippi Valley.
He played in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the late 80s, early 90s. So he has a wealth of knowledge. What they'll be going forward to, I think my guy Dave had put the schedule up for them already, but they have some winnable games as far as going into
we went over.
Colonial.
What did we say? They could possibly win 5 or 6. What did we say?
They could probably win 6.
Because we went over. Remember, we went over the schedule. Was it the other night?
Yeah, but I think that was with somebody else. But I think they can win. They can win at least 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, well, we thought it was 5 or 6.
Right. So
but they got to play Villanova. They got to play Delaware. They're not going to win them games.
And then why did they get rid of Sam Washington? I think they got rid of Sam Washington because it was just that time. Because you're moving into an actual new conference. You went from the MEAC and you went into the Big South. You played in the Big South for 2 years, and then now you're trying to dip your toes into the second best conference in FCS, which is CAA. Second best conference, other than if it ain't called the Missouri Valley Football Conference. You see you see that their pedigree of football is up there. So you need a coach like Vincent Brown, who's coached in the CAA.
Yeah.
He's under the assistant of Mike London.
Yeah.
Over at William and Mary. Mike London was the same head coach that coached at Howard. So he's been with Mike London for a minute. So he knows what he's doing over there. He knows what he's going to do. He knows what he's going to get. I don't think Sam knew what he was going to. I don't think Sam know what he was going to get himself into. And so it's also Sam Washington had a lot of stuff going on. As far as I think they said his mother passed away during the season. So he had a lot of stuff going on with him. I think the way that A&T did it, if you was going to get rid of the head coach, you would have done it right after the last game of the season. You would have done it after you played Gardner Webb. Now you did that, and now you just you did that, and it looked I wouldn't say suspect. It kind of did look suspect, but in the end, you still got the coach that you wanted. Does that explain it for you? And Cedric, if Othello Harrington gets the dang on head coaching job for Georgetown, he better wake up the remnants of old Big John Thompson. He better wake up the remnants of old Big John Thompson and get those recruits to come back into Georgetown and get them to play Georgetown basketball. The way Patrick Ewing was trying to get them to play Georgetown basketball was to get them to play like it was Hoya paranoia. You kind of want to get into that. You wanted to get it that way, but you can't. You really can't. And I don't think Patrick Ewing had that type of coaching pedigree to even get it back up there like that. That's the reason why I would have rather dealt with John Thompson III and I forgot the other coach, Frank Eskridge. he was the head coach beforehand. They was trying to keep that Georgetown tradition going. JT3 wanted to do it his way and run the Princeton offense, which that gives you a lot of movement around the ball, back cuts, back doors, and all this stuff like that. They didn't want that, so they let him go. Oh, no problem. I try to. Yeah, Craig Eschrick. Like he kept they kept that nucleus when it came to Georgetown basketball after John Thompson not passed away, but he had stepped down and retired. They kept that tradition. Plus, it was easy for them to keep that tradition because Big John was head coach emeritus, so he wasn't coaching, but he was like a special advisor to the head coach. So he knew what he was going to do. Oh, yeah. We'll finish up the SWAC, the basketball, and then we're going to shut it down because I know a lot of people is going over the Ken show. So
Yeah, so the women, when they play Prairie View, if they beat Prairie View, how does that work? Are they still going to be the SWAC champion if they beat Prairie View and they go undefeated for the rest of the season?
If they beat Prairie View, it'll be a tiebreaker. They go by certain things, but that's just for the regular. That's just for the regular season title, because you still got to play your conference championship. You still got to play your conference tournament, and that's officially.
I know, but they have like a regular SWAC champion, and then they have the. Well, I'm saying in order for us to clinch the regular SWAC championship,
got to beat them.
We have to beat them, and then you said that there's a tiebreaker.
Yeah, they kind of do tiebreakers, but really, I don't think they really would do tiebreakers. They would just do. The one tiebreaker will be. I think the one tiebreaker will be overall record. So let's just say Jackson State, Prairie View State with let's just say they're
gonna play in Jackson in February, and it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be on HBCU Go. That's probably gonna be one of the biggest games for both the men and the women's team, just because they both lost.
Hey, let me ask you: is the Jackson Southern game, is that on HBCU Go?
I wish it was, man.
It's not.
Let me go ahead and look that up.
Because that's gonna be big too. That Jackson Southern, that's Woods against what's the coach's name?
Mo Williams.
Oh, I'll have to go to what's that? HBCU Go.
CU Go, yeah. .com.
Yeah, I'll have to go there.
HBCU Go TV.
Yeah,
I think we did this, but let's see. Let's see what this looks like.
Yeah, they played twice, Mr. Campbell.
Okay. Yeah. They on TV both times.
So we're gonna Jackson State is gonna be on HBCU Go.
When?
They was on there today, man.
Yeah, they were on here today. They're gonna be there on Saturday.
And they got who?
Bethune Cookman.
Okay, that's Reggie Theus. Okay, yeah.
Then Grambling and Jackson State will be there.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one right there.
That's in Grambling.
That's gonna be in Grambling.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one.
Then Alcorn.
Jackson State versus Alcorn on February 18th.
That's gonna be a good one. I gotta say now, one of the things I've been saying is that SWAC basketball men was on the ground, but it's coming up. I enjoyed those games Saturday. It's coming up. I just wanted to fix that tournament.
Hey, Mr. Boy, you see what Mr. Campbell put on the...
What did he say? What Mr. Campbell say?
Yes, can we talk about how great HBCU Go is? Because
Oh,
it's
Oh
great.
my
listen,
goodness,
I love
it's
Byron
so
Allen.
good.
I done told y'all. I said, Buck, ESPN, let's go with Byron Allen. I
I mean, it's
watched
really
every
good. I like.
HBCU football game this year. I love them games.
They need to have Rob J as the announcer though for the Jackson State
Oh,
game.
you don't like Charlie Neal?
Charlie Neal is a legend.
Maybe
Yes.
it's because Rob J is a little bit more animated, and I'm pro Jackson State. So of course,
Listen.
when they hit a
Listen.
ball, so I put the game on mute and put the radio on.
Oh,
So I
for
could
real?
listen to Rob J.
Oh,
Yeah,
listen,
I
I
love the way
love Charlie Neal. I started listening to Charlie Neal in the late 70s, early 80s. He was BT. I remember when the games would be tape delayed, they would play the
Yep.
game and then we see it late at night or something like that. I've been a Charlie. To me, he's the GOAT. For black announcers, that guy's the GOAT.
Yeah. That's why I said, like, I could deal with Charlie Neal. I could deal with
I
Rob
love
J.
Charlie Neal.
I could deal with both. I could listen to both of them. But you know what I'm saying? Charlie Neal is just that dude. Like,
Yeah, he that dude.
he like it. He for black college football, he's like Keith Jackson.
Yeah, that's right. But now you remember he left us. He was doing black college sports. He left us and went with TNT for a minute. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And then they made a choice between him and a guy named Craig Neal. They chose Craig Neal, and he came back to BET because we missed him. Oh, I like that guy, Charlie. Charlie Neal is the GOAT. And Charlie got to be 80 years old. Is he 80 years old?
I don't know. I'm gonna check.
Charlie got to be up there, man. Because Charlie been around a long. See, I remember when it used to be Charlie Neal and Lim Barney. You remember? Y'all remember Lim Barney?
Yeah, I remember Lim Barney.
Lim Barney. He used to do the Kappa stuff every game. He'd be diamond in the sky, Kappas and all. He'd do that Kappa stuff every game.
Talking about you sound like those old white SEC folks.
Yeah, I remember Lim Barney now.
I like Rob J's announcing. I listen to it. I'll be like, oh my God. Especially when the game is close or when they're shooting a three. He just has that announcer voice that gets you hype about the game.
Oh, men on the men's side of the ball, we got it's a little, I won't say an upset, but it was something like that. But Pine Bluff defeats Bethune Cookman 77-71.
They probably tired. They've been on the road. They tired.
And the coach is tired too, having to deal with Ed Reed. Ed Reed stressing the basketball coach out, and they gonna be in Jackson.
Ooh.
And Jack, they gonna set the AD. I hope AD Robinson pulls AD aside and just says, "Bruh,
let him go. Don't do that. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it."
If you see a train wreck,
yeah,
you see it happen right in front of you. Now, why would you want to get into another train wreck?
Right. FAMU men come out with the victory against Mississippi Valley, but I mean, there's two bottom feeders in the conference.
Yeah, that guy needs all the wins he can get. I'm telling you, they trying to Kofi and them want to run him out of town. They want him gone, man. They want to run the lady out. She's over the girls' team. I think her name is Pillow or something. Somebody tell me, but they want her out, and they want the men's coach out too. But they do have a beautiful arena down at Florida A&M. I think it's called the Al Lawson Arena or something. Have you seen it?
I've seen pictures of it.
Oh, Doc, I've been there. I went to 2019. I went to the Southern Fam game in Tallahassee, and so that's one of the things we did before the game. We went over to the arena. It's big time. The arena is gorgeous.
Hey, I'm about to put this game on. This Jack State, Texas Southern. If anybody can see it.
Dang, how did Texas Southern come all the way back?
Oop, rip.
Did you put it on?
Yeah. It should be.
Oh, okay. I don't see it.
Hold on. Yeah, it's on there. So everybody
The fact that Texas Southern came back from that much is ridiculous. Left him wide open.
Now this is the same floor that is named after Dr. McClellan. That was a bad shot right there. Hey, Mr. Ford, you're gonna like this one too. Alabama State defeats Alabama A&M 69-61 in men's action. It's for and then Alcorn and Prairie View. Alcorn is up by 1 against Prairie View, 43-42 in the second half. Nice hit. Look, I can multitask over here because all right.
You hear me?
$60-52. They is making a run, y'all.
Doc, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
That game with Alabama A&M and Alabama State, that was in Mobile, right?
Let me see.
I thought it was in Mobile.
No, they was in
Montgomery?
Huntsville.
Oh, it's in Huntsville. Okay.
Okay. They played at the new arena.
Okay. Yeah. They say it's a beautiful place. Now that Texas Southern team is a talented team. It's just that their guards are so sloppy. Their guard play is terrible, but they got big time transfers and all of that.
Okay. But yeah, you see all this right here. It's if y'all looking at it, man, it's a nice. If you're looking at this,
a very nice setup. You have the time clock, the score, everything is top notch.
Yes, it is.
I would imagine that we probably need to start using the hashtag HBCUGO, and they need to do a little bit more with marketing and advertising.
How about them setting up the SWAC network?
Man, we've been talking.
I don't think that the McClellan and the others would let them
set up the SWAC network,
right?
Because they've shown they'll do a quality job. Because we got to have this SWAC network. We can't get around that. We can't get around it. We've got to have that, just like the ACC got theirs, the SEC got theirs. We got to have a SWAC network.
And I like Valley, Mississippi Valley, and Prairie View both have really good setups for their games.
And don't forget FAMU now.
I haven't seen FAMU's.
Yeah, they do theirs through what do you call it? Facebook. I think they do it through Facebook. Isn't that right, Mr.? Yeah, because they do a great job.
They have really, really good setups. The thing with Prairie View, though, I think when too many people got on the stream, it got chippy and it was like lagging when I was trying to watch the game. Like I couldn't watch the game online.
Doc, let me ask you this question.
Mr. Campbell said McClellan trying to get 20 to 30 million for that.
And Byron Allen has it. So just give us the 20 to 30. Just give us the 25 million, because just the setup and pushing HBCUGO, like, I don't know if people are looking at how much social media is important, but like if you go to social media and you're hashtagging that and you have everybody talking about the game and stuff like that, you bring about like more interest. Like, let me check out the SWAC. Let's see who this is, So I think that HBCUGO, if you're going to do that, I don't know what they offered CIAA or any other, but I think that SWAC has a lot of teams that offer great content. So,
without a doubt,
I definitely think that McClellan is right. If you're going to do it, show me the money.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah.
Hey, Doc, let me ask you this question. The kid, Marquise Bale, did he play a lot for the Cowboys this year?
Special teams.
Special teams. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Right.
Special teams. I think we had lost 2 of our safeties at one point in time in one game, and he did come in. No, it was the Minnesota game. He came in because we blew him out. We were blowing him out by 40.
Okay. So he did come in.
Yeah. So he's been I won't say sporadic, but he's been coming in hit and miss. But I like what I see from. I feel like they hopefully next season they can get him a bigger role in the defense.
Right. So who's representing Aubrey Miller? Who's his agent?
I wouldn't even know who his agent is, but if his agent is telling him, look, if you go to these All-Star games, play on special teams.
Oh yeah.
Learn how to play on special teams, because that will get you, you on the court.
Oh yeah.
I mean on the field. They'll get you on the field to play special teams. And I think this is something that we might not like what he has said lately, but this is what I do like about what Dion was talking about when it came down to it. When he told the kids, play on special teams, you'll get you a chance to get out there on the field.
Right. Right.
That's something that they need to do.
When is the Senior Bowl? What's the date of that?
Senior Bowl. That is February 4th.
Okay, if he can make a good impression at the Senior Bowl, he could possibly be drafted.
Yep, and then
everybody's at the Senior Bowl. Everybody. That's in Mobile.
Yeah, and then whatever his measurables is,
right.
It basically what he does in the Senior Bowl, and then also what he like, how he run his 40,
right?
How much he benches. Ooh, nice dunk.
Now, when is the NFL Combine up in Indianapolis? Right? In that Indianapolis.
That's in
what date is that?
March. That's always around that time.
And now, he's been invited to that, right?
Let me see. I don't think he's been invited to it, but
Miss Timona, can you hear me? Is she on?
No, she had to go on another show.
Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you, Doc. Now, if you had to give a grade A, B, C, or D, what are you giving Dr. McClellan? What grade are you giving him?
I give him a B minus.
Okay.
And the reason why I give him a B minus is because I give him a B minus because I feel like he tried to capitalize on the Dion movement, and then I don't think he actually, you know what I'm saying, try to keep that momentum going.
Right. What do you want him to improve on?
Now this is something that a lot of people say that he doesn't do, but I know he does, but I think he could do a little bit better. Is the marketing of the schools. Like you gotta market that Valley, because if you gotta market Mississippi Valley. Nobody markets Mississippi Valley because you're marketing the conference as a whole, just a whole, but you're only gonna market probably like 4 teams out of the conference, which is Jackson State, Alcorn, Grambling, Southern.
Well, let me ask you.
And then maybe FAMU now, because you can put FAMU in there and you can kind of do at least when Texas Southern for basketball, Prairie View for football.
Now, so Doc, let me ask this question. If you were to play Southern Miss, do you want a 1-game series or home and home or 3-game series? What do you want if you was going to deal with Southern Miss? Do you want a
Well,
home and home?
Southern Miss don't want to come to the vet. They ain't
They
gonna want
don't
to come
want to
to
come?
the vet. That they won't. Because we are SCS team. We are considered SCS team. You know, FBS, the FCS don't. They don't come. You know, they don't. They won't come up to you. So it'll basically be It'll basically 2 home games with them. So it'll be one for 1 year. Then they'll probably be like a couple of years down the line and go have another one for another year.
Well, let me ask you this, Doc. Now, do you want a home and home with Tennessee State?
I would have a home and home with Tennessee State.
They come to the vet and you go to Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because Tennessee State come to Jackson, we're gonna pack out the vet. We go up to Nashville, we're gonna pack out Nissan Stadium.
I thought they were playing on campus now. They playing on
They
Nissan?
play on campus, but as far as for a game like that, for that magnitude, they'll be at Nissan.
Oh, they would be at Nissan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now let me ask Mr. I was going to ask about when is FAMU going to play Tennessee State?
Oh, Mr. Campbell.
Mr. Campbell, when are y'all going to put Tennessee State back on the schedule?
They need to.
Because that's another one that goes back to the 30s and the 40s, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But that's an old series.
And I like this right here, what Edwin's saying. We all need to be promoting all of the broadcasts. The numbers approve our negotiations for deals on every platform, and that's true. We do need to start negotiating. We do need to negotiate that. Especially
you see what Khalil says. That's not going to happen. Tennessee State not going to join the SWAC.
They're not going to join the SWAC, and then for South Carolina State, there's too much travel logistics for South Carolina State.
Yeah,
because they'll be the Eastern.
Because South Carolina State, they would like to play Florida A&M, Bethune, all of them annually. I don't think FAMU's playing them this year. Now I don't know about Bethune Cookman.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them doing Alabama A&M, Alabama State. I could see South Carolina State playing those people.
That's all. Yeah, I mean, we actually could do it. I mean, I'm gonna say like this: it actually can if he can negotiate with USM to bring their tail to Jackson.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Home and home.
Just say not even say it's Jackson's home stadium. It just use it as a neutral. I wouldn't say neutral site, but you know what I'm saying. It would be neutral for certain people in the state. Then yeah, I would do it.
You know what? Now this me and this might be selfish, but I'm sick and tired of y'all playing Florida A&M the first game of the season. I don't like that. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that. Because that whole thing, that's like the championship for the SWAC, and it's the first game of the season. No, we don't need that. I'm tired of that. You know what I mean, Doc?
Mm-hmm. No, I get you. I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you.
This is the last year, that right?
Yes.
Yeah, because every time whoever wins that game gonna win the SWAC. I'd like to see that game like number 6 or number 7, something like that. Not the first game of the season.
Right. Yeah, Tennessee State ain't got a lot of openings. If Jackson State want to play Tennessee State, they'll play them in Nashville. Well, I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to go back to Memphis if you're not getting no money from that game right there. And then too, that money from playing in Nashville, Tennessee State will keep that money.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it would be better as a home and home.
Mm.
It'd be better. It's kind of like over in the SIC. I think one of the things they need to look at is Fort Valley and Albany State going home and home again.
Yep.
Yeah. 1 year it's in Fort Valley, next year it's in Albany.
And that's the Fountain City Classic, right?
Fountain City Classic, yeah.
The Cowboys just scored again. CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
30-6. Yeah. So yeah, we're about to. He finally made an extra point. Thank you. Thank you. It's talking about you play University of Memphis to get a check. No, I don't even want to play Memphis. I don't even want to play Memphis to get a check. No. Nah.
That's what we've just criticized in South Carolina State about that check, getting them boys hurt. I know y'all don't forgot it, but you remember Southern came over here and played University of Georgia and got that boy, he got his neck broke or something. You remember that?
Yep. Yeah. Devin Scales.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not with that check either.
Jackson State is up by 4 now.
Hey, listen, Doc, have they made it official the entire staff for Jackson State, or they still hadn't done that?
They still haven't did it yet. I think they're gonna do it for signing day.
Okay, that's right, signing day. That's right, February 3rd. I think it's signing day.
Yeah. So they got a new. So this is what I know. They have a new. They have new strength and conditioning coach.
I heard that. Yeah, he's from Texas Tech. Texas Tech, right?
Mm-hmm. Coach Mo is in. He's in Colorado, so he introduced him. He's the head of the strength and conditioning at Colorado, which I do. I'm gonna give it up to, like, for what he has done at Jackson State and what he did when he was at the University of Georgia.
Oh, he was good.
He was good. So I'm gonna give it to him. I will give it to him.
Yeah.
Just for that.
Yeah. And you could see what he had done during the season, because them guys were stronger and they were faster. And the one that I think really showed what Sims did to them was Shedeur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shedeur got faster and stronger.
Now, I'm not gonna take away from the new strength and coach that's here, because he's getting the kids, he's getting these boys in spring condition so they can knock that rust off.
Yeah. Now, by the way, did John Huggins, did he officially go to Ole Miss, or he's
he's at Ole Miss.
He's at Ole Miss. Okay.
Yep. You probably say if he was on campus, then he'd be like, yeah, he's at Ole Miss. He
was one of my favorite DBs.
Oh yeah, I liked him. I like him as a DB.
I liked him too, man. I'm gonna tell you, I thought he was a pro. I see it. I thought, I'm mad. I guess it's his thing, but I didn't. I hated he left Jackson.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you about Mo Sims being in Colorado. Even though Colorado, they got the nice facilities and stuff like that, I don't think what they did at that time with the previous coaches that they had, I don't think they took the strength and conditioning seriously at Colorado. So what I will say is, I'm gonna say this: he's gonna get them boys right.
Yeah,
he's gonna get them right.
Yeah,
and if the other kids don't understand what's going on, then Shedeur and all of those kids, all those boys that came from Jackson, they gonna let them know what's going on.
Yeah,
they gonna let them know what's going on. Oh my, come on now. Now this is what I'm talking about. If you have a 15-point lead, I'm talking about Jackson State, you had a 15-point lead. All that extra dribbling, shooting unnecessary shots is you don't need it. Shoot a mid-range. Put that Man, put the ball in the post.
That's one thing that has disappeared from basketball is a post game. Posting it up, like you said, mid-range game. That has almost disappeared from basketball.
Yeah. Even ISO play has disappeared from basketball. ISO playing disappeared from basketball. ISO play.
And don't forget the hook shot, the jump hook, the sky hook has disappeared. Bank shooting, where you shoot off the glass, that has disappeared. A lot of that has disappeared. You don't even see it anymore.
Man, but yeah, like, see, you know, I tell people this. So now I didn't play basketball in high school, and everybody knows I didn't play basketball in high school. Now I played for fun, so I played in the like street basketball and stuff like that. And so we used to have the tournaments, 3-on-3s and stuff like that. Hoop it up tournament. And people don't remember that. So we played that. I used to come to Dallas all the time over to the West End, downtown Dallas, and it'd be a whole feature, just number straight ballers out there. Now, my uncle taught me how to play taught me how to play inside out. And when people like, how you say inside out? Because the way it is, like, I had 2 left feet. so and I was like 5'11", about 5'11" at the time, like when I was 12, 13 years old, 5'11". And so basically he taught me, even though I'm a size of a guard, if NBA standards, he taught me how to play the post. So inside out. And what he told me is, look, bag them down, drop step, because the drop step was a power move.
Yeah, that's right.
He didn't tell me to do no fade away or nothing like that. Hook shot, sky hook. Hit the corner of the box. It's gonna go in on a hook shot. Basically, what he was teaching me, it was like what Tim Duncan was doing,
right,
in the NBA,
right,
Mr. Fundamental.
Oh yeah, one of the greatest of all time. You ask me.
Yeah, like nobody.
Now, listen, you know they set a record in Texas for the biggest NBA game in history was Friday night, wasn't it?
Yep.
68,000 down at the Alamo Dome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was Golden State and the San Antonio Spurs. Yeah. And by the way, Chris Bosh, he's Dallas, isn't he?
Yep. Lincoln High School.
What was his high school?
Lincoln in Dallas.
Yeah.
The year he had, they went 40-0, won the national championship game and the state title in the same year. And that team was that team right there was super stacked. And I'm talking about, when I'm saying stacked, Mr. Ford, it was stacked. It was him. He had a dude named Kevin Flowers. Not Kevin Flowers, Gary Flowers.
And he went where?
Gary Flowers, I forget. I think he went to West Virginia.
Okay.
Brian and Ryan Hawkins, twins. They both went to SMU. Brian was a high flyer. Brian was, I think Brian and Ryan was like 6'1", is like 6'2" or 6'3". Ryan was more of a shooter. Brian was electric.
Right.
He's a high flyer. And then they had Byron Eaton. He was and I don't think everyone might know, Byron Eaton played football also for Lincoln.
Right.
He was the quarterback and the free safety. but he was he was 5'11", 220 pounds.
5'11". What, he's a linebacker?
He was a safety in the quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Coach Mo is on one. He is pissed. You should not.
Now, Doc, what is the population of the Dallas Metro?
Shoot, Dallas Metro area, man. We talking about Dallas and Fort Worth combined. You talking about almost 3 million people here.
I thought it was larger than that.
I don't know if let me see. I don't know if it's 3 million, but I know it's up there.
Yeah, because the Metro here in Atlanta is 6.5 million. And I think Dallas is large. The Dallas Metro is larger than the Atlanta Metro, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we are bigger. We have 7.6 million people.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Making it the most populous metropolitan area in both Texas and the southern United States, the 4th largest in the U.S. and the 10th largest in the Americas.
Right, that's right. That's what I thought. It was something like that. So that means y'all got athletes galore down there.
Yeah.
You got athletes galore. The SWAC need to put an office down there just for recruiting.
Yeah. Well, the SWAC office used to be in Dallas for a minute.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Because now I remember when I got into the SWAC office, it was in New Orleans. That was Dr. Franks. Remember Dr. Franks?
Dr. Franks. That name sounds familiar because
he was the commissioner. Yeah, that was back in the 80s.
I came around when Dewar Sharp was the commissioner.
Oh yeah, I remember him. I remember Dewar Sharp. Dewar Sharp went to University of Wisconsin. I think he was from New Jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember him. He was the one when they started doing the SWAC championships. He had the game in Texas.
Yeah,
in Houston. Yeah, I remember Dewar Sharp.
No, when he started the SWAC championship, they started a SWAC championship in the divisions, but he had the championship in Birmingham over at Legion.
Oh, that was Dewar Sharp? I was thinking that was okay. Because wait a minute, that first one in Legion Field was 99, right?
Yeah. And then he also gave up the automatic bid for the FCS playoffs too.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That was for the Celebration Bowl, right?
Well, it was just for the SWAC championship game. Cause remember the Celebration Bowl ain't the Celebration Bowl is not that old.
No, it's not 10 years old yet, is it?
Mm-mm.
Because I remember, let's see now, A&T at one time had won 4 of those Celebration Bowls.
Right.
They beat Alcorn 3 times.
Mm-hmm. Grambling won 1.
Grambling won 1. Yeah.
So that's 5.
Central won 1.
Central won 1, and then
South Carolina State.
So that's it.
So we're talking about what, 7 or 6?
7.
That's right. Yeah. I think TC gonna get him 2 of them.
I didn't know this. The first black NCAA president was.
I remember that. Yeah, that was in the 80s. Yeah, I remember that. That's right. That was in the 80s. Dr. James Frank. I think he passed. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, I remember him, Dr. James Frank. Hey, it's my bedtime, Doc.
Yeah, man, because this game getting real good, and I'm about to shut it down. So
listen, have a good
5
night,
hours like I did the other night.
Okay, have a good night, Doc. Y'all be good.
All right. Man, y'all, this is I don't know, I want to say good game, but it's an actual good game right here. So, It's an actual good game. So I know there's a lot of people on Ken's live right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and call this a night. My boys is about to go to the divisional round to go play San Fran. The score is 77-75. Jackson State is up. And if they keep playing like this, we're going to lose the game. $77-75. Can we get a flag? All right, Philip. Make sure you join the page. Make sure you join the channel, and if you want to, make sure you become a member. That's another thing Jack State got to work on too. We got to work on free throws. Got to work on free throws. I think we, as a team, we shoot like 60 some percent as a team. We got to get that like in the mid to high 70s. We got to get that to the mid to high 70s, y'all, as far as free throws. So we got 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the game. Oh yeah, let them know, Keish. Also, we gonna let them know. I ain't even had my ticker going, y'all. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. All right, man. Membership for the channel, $4.99. Make sure y'all go ahead and join that. All it is another $5. Let's go ahead and join that. But shout out to all the new members of the channel that was there tonight. The women did win. They did win. In fact, it was a blowout. Keish. This Alcorn Prairie View game is whew. Oh snap. Okay. Hey, 218. Send me a Coach Simmons, send me a text where we could link up. Or hit me up on hit me up on Twitter. We can link up. Yeah. We won't be in this barn burner if they would have just kept playing the way that they was playing because we was up by 15 early in the second half, y'all. It was up by 15 early in the second half. We should have been, yeah. Yeah, I just see that, Edward. They going into overtime. Oh, Lord Jesus. They are going to OT. Man, they killing them with this drop off. I still say, y'all, look, we cannot shoot free throws like that to save our life. Even though it says we 16 to 21 on free throws right now, that's 76%. It looks like we miss a lot. So he done fouled out of the game. He upset. 25 turnovers don't do you no justice either. Yeah, 25 turnovers don't do you no justice. So great, man. You know what they need to do? They need to start teaching kids how to defend in the post. They need to teach them how to defend in the post. Teach them how to do. Try to get better on free throws. And they need to learn how to do late game situations. I don't think kids now, when they don't know how to do that. Because literally in high school, you just run up and down the court. It will, hey Ronald, it will, Chuck, it'll hunt you. Them missed free throws will hunt you. Yeah, I see that Russell Gage is down. Yeah, Russell Gage from I know he's from Houston. I forgot what school he went to. I think he went to what school did he go to, Edwin? I know he went to but yeah, that free throws, Baton Rouge Episcopal. Okay. Mm. Yeah, I'm looking at this too, Edwin. Yeah. Speedy recovery. Let's give a speedy recovery for Russell Gage, man. Yeah, give a speedy recovery for Russell Gage. I gotta see the replays on what happened to Gage. All right, so they got him on. They getting him on the cart now. So this game is wow. Cowboys up 31-6. Brett Morris missed 4 extra points. Yes. I just told my wife that Brett Morris just missed 4 extra points in the first half. The game should be 35-6. Huh? Yeah, I heard what she said. You better not be doing that with San Fran. Don't tell me they Texas Southern is up now 82-81. Man. It's what happens. It's what happens when you sloppy play. Hold on. Fabian, tell them Cowboys Super Bowl, baby. This our year. This is our year, Cowboys Super Bowl. At this point now for the Bucks, it's time to just call it a night. Go back to the drawing board. Better luck next season. We gave y'all a cheap touchdown, so I ain't worried about it. This game right here, y'all, if y'all see it, it is gotta hit the free throws, man. There you go. Yeah, Keish, they do. Y'all, Fred, I say that all the time. I'm a Cowboys fan. It's embedded in me. But Keish, yeah, they do need to work on their free throws. They need to work on late game situations too. Buccaneers just scored that 2-point conversion, so it's 31-14. Cowboys. Tom Brady has through the ball 61 times, y'all, for 320, 33 of 61, 327, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Shoot. As y'all see, look like that's Elizabeth City State playing Bowie State Wednesday as a doubleheader. I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking about I might think about doing a watch party for that game. For all my all my CIAA folks. Oh my God. What? You know what? Tampa Bay just recovered the onside kick, y'all. Tampa Bay just recovered the onside kick. Noah Brown, what are you doing? Mike McCarthy. Next game, don't even have Noah Brown as the third receiver. Oh my God. Jackson State squandered a 15-point lead and lose by 2 at the buzzer to Texas Southern, y'all. How's he doing, Edwin? If y'all ain't watched this last sequence right here, thank you, Jake Blue. Look. Who is not boxing him out? Oh my. And that is the reason why you have late game management. You have late game situations in college basketball. Mo Williams, what the hell was you doing? Oh my God. But yeah, like I'm just gonna go ahead and we're gonna call it a day. Man, look, Timona, that is Michael Jackson bad. Gave them their first SWAC win. Yes. Hard way. That is a hard way to lose. But it's even harder when you had a 15-point lead. You have a good night, Keish. It's a damn shame you have a 15-point lead and you lose by 2 at the buzzer. Coach Mo got to get it together by Wednesday. But anyway, y'all, look, we had a good show tonight. We talked a lot about, the Ed Reed, Bethune Cookman situation. We talked a lot about books we need to look at. So Francis Cress Wellesley, I'm going to be looking at that. The Philadelphia Negro, I'm going to be trying to get that to read. I'm going to find them on Amazon. Look, we got to make sure that, I think that's the reason why we gatekeep our institutions, y'all. That's the reason why we gatekeep our institutions. So that's the reason why we do that. So we won't have stuff like this happen. But thank y'all. Alcorn wins an OT. Wow. Wow. I appreciate everybody for coming on the show. I appreciate Mr. Ford, as always, coming on the show. I appreciate Shelovesthee coming on the show as always. So when she get ready to go live with her own with her podcast, y'all go and support her. Go and subscribe to her. Make sure we get her to 1,000 subscribers, and make sure we get her to 4,000 watch hours. It is tedious work, but I mean, in the end, it will be rewarding. So make sure y'all go and check. Go ahead and support her, man. Y'all continue to support this channel right here. If you haven't, make sure that you go and like the stream. We try to get to 100. I don't know if I'm at 100 likes, but if we get to 100 likes, that's good. That's great because that helps the algorithm. Also, we need to make sure that you comment and you share this with everybody. And when she went live, she went live today on by Ed Reed. She's I'm gonna tell you, go catch on Ken Clark's podcast. But I know a lot of people went over to Ken Clark, so I'm not even tripping. So y'all help me out. He helped me out. Y'all help him out. So it's a win-win situation for all of us. I might be going live earlier than this on certain days too. So just give me some time to do all that. Now, you remember I do have an actual full-time job, but good. But make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure if you already subscribe to the channel, you can hit that $4.99 membership for the channel. This goes towards advancing and improving the channel as a whole. Does not go into my pockets by itself. It goes to improving the channel as a whole. To get any type of equipment, anything that we need for this channel to grow, that's what the memberships and the super chats and everything like that what it goes for. I'm not even gonna stress how much this doing these shows, doing this podcast has meant for me, because this is my baby, y'all. But y'all make sure y'all do that, and then also make sure y'all let's support the other creators that we have. Ken Clark is on right now. Shelovesthee, my boy GSPN, he over there right now. So support SWAC and the Food. Jeff Lacey Jr. Yeah. Blue Bloods, Kobe with Bliss City Podcast, the ONG Strike Zone with Kofi, even Scotty with Allscript. Man, it's too many to name over here. My boy, my guy, my having an honor, King Fuse's Lit House coming on to the show. I mean, coming to graces with on the show. Hopefully he'll subscribe too, because I'm subscribed to him. Man, it's all love around here. It's all love with this HBCU content creator space that we got right here. We need that. We need all that love right there. But I'll leave with this. I'll leave with this, y'all. If, like my granny said, you ain't doing nothing if you ain't sitting on your ass. You can't do anything if you sitting on your ass. Just said just like that. Oh yeah, support SWAC Talk. That's Edwin's. That's Edwin's. His family's his channel right there. I'm subscribed to him too. But my granny used to say, you can't do nothing if you sitting on your ass. So yeah. Other than that, man, I love y'all. I thank y'all. As always, man, y'all. As always, as I say, y'all be blessed. Y'all stay safe and y'all stay dangerous. Peace.